today. Why not? I was already here ready, so I figured I'll just start the stream. I hope you're all doing well today. Today I'm just gonna be, playing per usual. I'm gonna be going through GT more. Hopefully Super. Hopefully I could beat this God Goku, as the title says. And other than that, we're just chilling. I got some cool stuff I'll show off a little bit later into the stream. I'll wait till we get a couple folks in here. I'm gonna go ahead and link the stream. I probably. Oh my gosh. My bad, yo. Let's make sure the stream was playing on my phone. I guess I had my volume all the way up and some random YouTube short started playing. Definitely didn't click that. I can hear myself there. Mute. Okay, let's go ahead and link this in the announcements. I probably could have done this before I started the stream, but that's fine. Sorry for anyone watching the VOD. Trying to be Super Saiyan God. Go. Per usual, I'll be talking about the... Oh, let me move my microphone. Excuse me. Sorry, let me actually get that close. Let me check the audio on that bad boy. How's it going, Pumpkin? Nice to see ya. There we go. It's been posted on the Discord. Yeah, my bad for that microphone being way far away. There we go. We sound a lot better now. Yeah, I can mute. All right, cool. Hope you're doing well today, Pumpkin. Nice to see you per usual. You're usually here anyway, but very nice to see you as always. Let's go ahead and beat up Super Boo for a little bit, per usual here. How many times have I killed him? I'm actually kind of curious. Let's see. 307. Ooh. Okay, let me go ahead and link the podcast in server chat. Oh. Yeah, no worries. I keep my microphone I have it on a stand here, and I rotate it to the side, so it was totally just 4 feet, maybe 3-4 feet away from my face, and at a 90-degree angle. So actually just the wrong direction. Not all good. Because I don't like it, just sitting here in my face because it blocks one of my monitors. So I'm go ahead and post that. All right. We are officially good. I've done all my shameless promotion. Now I could show you guys a shiny thing because, there will be people watching the VOD, so it doesn't matter if everyone's not here yet. Let me show you guys something. Let me go to Challengers so I'm safe. So this is a PlayStation 5 controller, right? Pretty neato. I'm just going to plug it in. USB, Bluetooth would work too, but just easier. So you see that? It's plugged in. And look at that on screen. That is a controller support thing. So I'll briefly explain this. Maybe not briefly. I don't know. It depends how excited I get about it. This is controller support coded by me. This is going to be a standalone mod called Analog Joy, and of course it will be a part of Apollo once it's done. It'll just be included in the mod pack, probably next update, maybe before that. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, so there's some cool things here. Obviously, the on-screen display, you could turn that off if you so choose. You could just, it's a config option. It's off by default because, of course, right, you wouldn't want this on. Some neat things. Very proud of the fact that you can use the D-pad here. I'm using the D-pad right now. You can see it vaguely behind the menu, but I'm using the D-pad to navigate through the buttons. So basically every menu is retroactively going to work with this right here. It's just going to allow you to scroll through and be like, okay, let me go to that page. Let me go to this page. Let me go to this page. And then you'll be able to navigate pretty well. There's obviously going to be a few bugs because I haven't even tested it on Apollo up until this exact moment. I actually made this on vanilla with just DBC. So I made vanilla keybinds, then I made DBC keybinds, now I'm making Apollo keybinds, then I'm going to make Combat Update Apollo keybinds, since they're not too different anyway. But basically this is aiming to not just be an Apollo mod. This is aiming to be a 1.7.10 mod that everybody can use. No limitations there. It's going to be totally public, all that fun business. Yeah, pretty happy with how this has turned out so far. The inventory would, if it was functioning right now, allow me to navigate. Let me show you guys a different menu where it might work. So right here, you can see I could do this. I could just use the D-pad to navigate through here. It speeds up as you hold this down. So basically, you know, every container will work like that. The inventory right now is bugged. Oh. Okay, it's like, it's working in quotes. It thinks it's still in the global chest. Anyway, yeah, that's an easy fix. I just literally had not looked at it until right now. So no worries on that not working, of course. Even this menu works, so that's very fun. Most of the normal menus work just because it reads the button list. It literally just hijacks the button list and is like, okay, this is what we need to do. All right, cool. This is where the buttons are. Nice. Lock on right there. I'm pressing R3 for that, you know, down on the joystick. What was... Oh, action menu. Yeah, if I do this, it opens up the action menu, and I could just, you know... let's go. Boop. It's not really anything I want to do here. I guess I'll turn on my aura for a little bit. One thing I do want to mention is, obviously, Apollo will have, like, elevated compatibility just because it's literally me coding it. Like, things like the quick selection over there. Obviously, the idea is it will work with the controller. I was working on that right before the stream, so it doesn't work right now with quick selection. But the idea is you'll be able to literally navigate the menu, as well as, so instead of saying M2 to block, it will actually tell you, hey, L2, you know, stuff like that, right? Like, it will show the actual key thing like it's up there on screen. I can also show something else. Give me 2 seconds to kill this guy. So I have an Xbox. That's not the controller. I have an Xbox controller. I'm going to do the same thing. This one's actually like Bluetooth dongle, sort of. So I'm just going to plug that in real quick. Give me a minute. Let's not connect it yet. Oh, I'm out of stamina. So I'm just going to turn off the PlayStation controller, and I'll show you guys some neat things. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to have enough stamina. It's about to be embarrassing. Oh, thank the heavens. All right, warp challengers. And another thing I want to mention is we'll probably have an on-screen keyboard. But as far as like warping and stuff, right, you know, you have the context menu, which I'm going to make it hopefully easier to get to because it's a little like, it's not perfect for controller right now. It's better than having the type of command, like if you just outright didn't, like if you're actually sitting on a couch and like don't have like some Bluetooth keyboard and you actually want to play Apollo as if it was a game, you know, with controller. That's not going to work quite yet, but the intention is that one day I can go sit on my own couch. You can see it back there. I can go sit on my own couch and play this on the TV, you know, just a long-ass HDMI cord, but, you know. It's funny, I bought that HDMI cord, like, right whenever I moved into this place, and I've used it. Okay, I've used it a good amount of times, but not nearly as much as I would like to. Okay, so let's go into controls. This menu is also weird, but you can do it on this one. It's a lot simple menus will work. Anyway, here's the control screen. So you can see you can change your camera sensitivity, cursor sensitivity. There's also a bunch of config settings that I won't bother showing right now. But so you can rebind all of these if I wanted to be like, okay, no, I want to open my stat menu with triangle. Change it, and then you know you could reset to default if you so choose. I mentioned it works on DBC, Vanilla, and Apollo. This version and the combat update version. It's basically just going to be different mappings that will load depending on what it determines your installation is. So it will just figure out, oh, hey, this guy's playing DBC, or this guy has not DBC or Apollo, so he's just vanilla. And then the intention is, since this will be a public mod, if people start being like, hey, can you like add support for this mod with unique controls, I'll be like, sure. Ideally, someone just sends me their config, and I'm like, okay, let me just get that in by default, and then everyone who's playing that popular mod can just boot this game up with the mod, right? So I just want to show some. Where's my cursor? Oh my god, it was not. Wait, what? Oh, that's actually not bad. It's on a different screen, and whenever I pull it, it just. Okay, that's actually. Wow, kind of shocked it worked that well. Anyway, okay. So let me just unplug the controller. This is what it looks like if you're just not using the controller. It just goes back to normal. It just tells you analog joy running. controller disconnected. So let me show you guys. I'm gonna turn on this one, turn on the dongle, turn on that. Is that how it works, or do I have to press? I think I have to press this. There you go. So this is pairing. What's up, Kilo? Nice to see you in the stream. So we have Xbox here, and you can see this one actually has different like glyphs. I don't know, these little sprites to determine what keyboard stuff. So I think, I don't think. Let me literally pull up my list of controllers that I want to support. Oh, I think. Okay, so PS5 and Xbox One, that's the two I have. They both work right now. Very easy, right? Because all I had to do is just change the icons and change like one or two things about it. The idea is to have support for the Steam Deck. Because I don't know, I have a Steam Deck, and I feel like I know actually a couple of people who play on the Steam Deck, interestingly enough. So definitely want to support that. PS4, PS3. PS3 is big maybe. The way those controllers work are drastically different. Then obviously both the Xbox controllers, Xbox 360 and the Series, which I don't think that's even different than the Xbox One. And then Nintendo and just generic controller, which I think generic controller just works like Xbox anyway, according to Windows, so that will probably just work. But I'll have to get some people to test that, because I don't have any controllers beside the Steam Deck and technically a 360 controller, but I don't have like an adapter, and I'd prefer to just find someone else who does. No, they're probably not going to be worth the trouble. For some reason, PS3 controllers, like I have two of them, the way they're detected on Windows is very non-typical. Like, they functionally, I don't know, they're like, they call them a joystick. It's weird. Oh, why did it just start spam punching? What are the character sheets like? Is there anything different from the character sheets in the SCI mod? The what now? What's a SCI mod? Wait, why does it keep... Oh, that's interesting. What the heck? Oh, the joystick. Okay, I'm gonna note that issue down. Joystick got like stuck down. It's not even necessarily that, Cat. Well, actually, I think they would work, because just looking at how the controller properties compare to like a PS5, functionally it's the same thing. Like, it has, like 12 buttons, whatever, right? And you just map them. That part's easy. I think I gave up yesterday because I just didn't care, and I think I needed to install PS3 controller drivers, and I'm just like, I don't give a shit. And realistically, like, 2 people are gonna be playing with, actually probably 0 people. I can't imagine anyone's picking a PS3 controller unless that's all they have, which then I feel like they probably just don't even care to play controller. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like, even if I don't natively support it, people can absolutely just, go through. I'm actually very curious how Steam would work with this, because in theory, I can make it so you could pass through any, if I make Steam... If I have Steam support, which just means I figure out how Steam handles it, which is probably very much generic Windows controller, just Xbox, it probably already works, actually. I can't do it because I need to, like, disable my own detection of the controller and have Steam be the one. I'll figure it out off stream, but that's a good note. I'm going to note that down. But also programs, too. Yeah, this is not DBV. This is Dragon Block Apollo. We're basically like a completely overhauled Dragon Block C. Yeah, Steam controller input support would be good, but honestly, it's probably already supported by like just how this works. I don't like the Xbox controller. Like, this was my original, like, got this to play PC games, because I don't have an Xbox. Well, I have one, but not a like Xbox One. Anyway, PS5 controller is great. Easily the favorite controller I've ever used, which I haven't used that many. Not even like through Steam, like literally just turn on Steam controller input and use like desktop gamepad. But honestly, I just want, the idea is that should work, but ideally I just support the controllers natively, so all you need to do is plug your controller in. Not a single step outside of the mod pack. You just plug it in and it's working. Because like, I didn't do any setup. Like, functionally, you boot the game, plug the controller in, connect it, and it's working. Cat actually has the... Wait, Cat, is that not the... What the fuck? Okay, it's... First off, you guys have, like, the same name, right? And I'm pretty sure that's the controller Cat has. Because, like, I think I had, like, pointed it out to her or something. Or she showed it to me, and I was like, yeah, I've heard good things about that, whatever it was. But, like, that is hilarious. Hilarious coincidence. Or was it a different brand, Cat? One button and a joystick? That's not even a controller. Did you have a damn Atari controller? Just like a joystick with a button? I think Atari controllers had 2 buttons actually. Let me look that up. I haven't touched one of those in forever. Joystick. Yeah, no, the Atari controllers had 1, sometimes a shoulder button. Dude, literally. Kilo just your alt account? That is insane. Honestly, though, it's... Kilo, where'd you hear about the controller? I have a good idea of where you heard about it from, if you heard about it from anywhere. It is just a popular Amazon, like, controller on Amazon, to be fair. Like, I think it's one of the highest reviewed, or whatever. I'm very curious about where, like, if you heard about it from a specific source. Because I heard about it from a specific source. Because I wasn't shopping for a controller, I just happened to see a video. Literally. Congrats, Kilo. You're an admin now. Your cat's alt. That is, like... Honestly, the name coincidence isn't really that crazy. Like, I feel like the Neko is not the most, like... out there name. I don't know. The crazier part is that you guys both have, like, a K. And then you guys, like... I think your name is, like, literally the same in-game. Like, underscores and all. Okay, that makes sense, Kilo. I heard about it from a Linus Tech Tips video. I probably would have just found it if I looked on Amazon, but I wasn't really shopping for one. I almost bought one, but then I'm like, PS5 controller works great. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, you guys have the exact same format of name. If only you had 3 characters in the first, like, part of your name. That would be a hilarious coincidence. It's honestly pretty nice to play on controller, though. Like, I'm not... I think it'll be made even better in Combat Update, because the reason it might be a little annoying right now is because I'm just sitting here, like... Right? And that's kind of like, eh. I mean, if anything, I really should bind the... Oh, I don't think I mentioned, but you could double tap jump to fly. So that's a neat little thing. With the controller. That should honestly just be a thing in general, but I'll worry about that later. I should probably just rebind my punch button to, like... I'm actually gonna do that. Because I'm not a fan of... I can't remember a game I've played where, like, you spam the trigger to punch, you know? Like a beat 'em up. Like, imagine a hack and slash game where you have to press R2 to punch. You'd probably be like, not a major fan of that. Here we go. Oh, this is so much better with circle. I am changing that instantly. I'm gonna change it on DBC, like, bindings as well. Yeah. I was already planning to do, like, square and triangle for, like, combat. Like, that's a pretty classic one. Square is usually, like, your... Honestly, square is usually the spam button. Because it's like... Actually curious, what is sparking? I remember looking that up. Because Sparking Zero has some pretty, like, fine controls. Nothing really of note there. Speaking in fucking Xbox binds, you degenerates. Not like I don't have an Xbox controller in front of me for reference that I could definitely look at. But I'm looking at controls. Here we are. Sparking Zero, depending on... Well, they have 2 bindings. I'm just going to go with standard. I assume that's their default. Triangle is Key Blast or Rush Chain. And square is Rush Attack. So that's your standard attack. And then circle is like Perception, I forget what the hell that was. And then dashing is like X. Talking about controller support. Honestly, yeah, let me give it a shot with... I haven't actually, like, played. I've only, like, made sure it works. This is me actually playing, basically, for the first time with the controller. So I'm getting a chance to actually feel these out. Luckily, on 1.2.7, you know, the MP3 update, we only have one attack button. You don't really... Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't really even show how... Oh, that's awkward. It changes my confirm button. I do like... it's just something to get used to. Oh, I'm sure, dude. Sparking Zero is incredibly not unique. When I'm talking about their controls, it's probably exactly what Xenoverse had. I don't know for a fact, though. Pretty sure the gameplay is quite different, so it's probably not one-to-one like Vox is saying. I'm trying to determine which one feels the best. I definitely think X should be, like, dodging, like, you know, this. Since that will actually matter more. Probably like Z-Vanish and stuff. Definitely that will not be... That will not be... I don't think any jump in your normal combat, so... We'll figure that out. What button usually is jump? I mean, a lot of games jump is a very non-primary thing. It is, in fact, X on, like, console Minecraft. That's where I started with the controls. But we don't really need to try to be console Minecraft because I don't think people are walking in expecting it to play like that. Yeah, X is usually a quick dash button. Or circle. It really depends. Sometimes circle is blocking. Right now, blocking is technically left trigger, right? Like, just right here. Which, honestly, feels fine. Well, for this version of Apollo, I don't give a shit because you don't even need to block. Right? Like, blocking is completely irrelevant, so I don't care. I'll care a lot more in combat update. And, you know, the beauty of controls, thinking up just the most generic, like, default bindings is cool. But, like, they should just be fine, and then everyone should, like, go rebind them if they want. Right. I'm pretty sure most of these games also have, like, alternate control schemes. You can just toggle, if not straight up rebinding everything. What is perception? You know what? Let me try something. Let's try to bind. Let's bind jump to right trigger, okay, and sneak to left trigger. So up and down, right? I think some games do it like that. So inventory, like hotbar navigation, is bumpers right now, which that will also be for quick selection. Let's keep the attack button on square. Let's set the use button to X. Oh, it's like a counter. Oh, okay. Let's say guard being circle is a pretty nice one. I think I'll do that. Triangle won't really do shit right now. That's annoying. In menus, by the way, the X button is like the, you know, the click. X is click whenever you're in a menu. Just FYI. That'll probably be configurable, but it's not right now. I'll just make dodge triangle, or I'll make dodge X for now. So there you go. Dodge is X, and there you go. My attack is square. My block is circle. Well, yeah, then you start getting into the debate of, like, how do you determine when they should be able to use their hotbar. Now, in Apollo, we could make the argument that, like, you don't fucking need your hotbar. So just, you know what I mean? You press a button to go. Honestly, I could see it just being like when you're in combat, we just like we change the keybinds. Like there's an in combat and out of combat, right? Now that like bumpers being hotbar navigation makes perfect sense for Minecraft, but we're not really Minecraft. Let's not kid ourselves. You don't need your hotbar to heal. You don't need it for anything in combat. It's literally locked whenever you use quick selection. You do not need your hotbar. I think it's safe to just not have that be a thing. For the sake of testing, I'm going to not have it be hotbar. And we're just going to see how that feels. I'm just going to remove the... Oh, wrong button. You mean like being able to hold or double tap a button, right, Cat? I'm gonna set my block to right bumper. I think right or left. I'll interchange them. See how that feels. Yeah, a quick selection will use the D-pad for sure. There's definitely gonna need to be like a in combat thing going on here. Definitely. I think I'll keep jump to X. I'll set sneak to like L2. Why not? Or maybe. Here, let me try some. Make jump L1, sneak L2, so up and down. Some games do it like that. Usually when you're flying, it's like that. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. It's not a bad idea. Definitely not there with the controller support. Controller support right now is very rudimentary. Well, it's not rudimentary, but like it's basic controller support. You know, I don't have all that yet. Wouldn't be too hard though. Just definitely not doing that for like a first release of this. This will probably be coming out relatively soon, actually. I'll probably just polish it and then release like an alpha so people can mess with it and tell me if things work. You honestly don't need that many buttons in Apollo, to be frank. Maybe in combat update that will change. I don't know. I think it's also simple enough to just be like they're in combat, just make them use just like switch from like Minecraft-esque controls to like combat focused controls where you navigate quick selection, you navigate da da da. Yeah, I could send it to you. I'll warn you, there's obviously bugs. I have like 10 bugs outstanding right now. So just keep that in mind. Feel free to report them though, because you might find something I don't have. So it does work with Apollo, but there's going to be a couple of specific Apollo issues. You can already use shaders. Just get Optifine. We can't distribute Optifine because the mod dev doesn't like that, so we respect that. Or like, I think Angelica, I don't know if that one works for sure. I'll send it to you as well, Vox. I got you. I was probably going to start sharing it with testers soon enough anyway. So here, just throw it in the main Apollo thing. First off, let me know if your controller works, both of you, Vox and Cat, because I have no idea if it will work for you guys' controllers. Let me know if it doesn't. No worries. It's a great question. I don't like that. So blocking is right click, you know? So to open a menu, no, definitely circle is not fun. Circle does not feel nice. Also, why did my escape button break? Yeah, circle being blocked does not feel good because whenever to back out of a menu, there's some keybinds that are like forced, if you will, where like X is always clicking in a menu and circle is always back in a menu. So it's really awkward if you set your menu open to circle because it like instantly closes when you let go. So that bug's there, but you know, I literally like this is like basically my first time messing with it on Apollo, to be blunt. I made it for vanilla and then DBC, and then I was going to do Apollo. And I just felt like showing it on the podcast today because it's obviously cool as shit. Oh. That's definitely not good. Let me unbind inventory. I don't need that right now. Let me know, Vox or Cat, if either of you two have questions, because there's some things I'll definitely need to explain and clarify. Some things are not very obvious. Yeah. That's gonna be a post-launch thing. I'll probably like I plan on releasing an alpha pretty soon, and then that will be then the beta will be the 1.0, because it's version 0.85 right now. So whatever 1.0 will be when it's officially in the Apollo pack. So that'll be a post 1.0 thing, if that makes sense. But probably a pretty soon feature if it ends up feeling like it's needed. I hadn't even thought about those. I did think about, like, because Steam controller support is pretty nice in the way that they let you like bind multiple things to one key press, right? You can have a long press, a hold press, a double press. There's a lot of like variations of how you press a button, which is incredibly nice. So probably something like that. Like, technically there is a double tap feature where, like, whenever you double tap jump, you start flying. So that is already coded. I probably won't read them on stream because I don't want to get too distracted. But please do send. Yeah, square feels great, honestly. Square for punching is nice. I'll note down some of the binds that I'm liking so far. Definitely been messing with it for a while with the binds I had, so I'm going to take a moment to get used to them. But I think I like jump on LB, I don't know. And then blocking being RB is probably nice. I think blocking and the use button probably need to be separated. I mean, they are in combat, so there is that. And the reason I'm making this work on this version is just for the sake of, like, getting it out so people can mess with it and let me know if it's broken. And then, like, in combat, it will be super polished and super great, right? Like, it's basically just going to be like a, hey, this is their feature if it comes out before combat. Because, like, I don't really think this version of Apollo is amazing with controller anyway. Like, just in general, this gameplay loop is not very, very great. Right, like that's why the combat update exists. Also, to get back to what you said about wonder when the next teaser will be, probably pretty soon. I'm working on what it will be. I'm working on like the feature it will be. I mean, so probably not too long. Probably don't open controls from the main menu then. Try to get in-game. I think I already know why it's happening. Oh, hey Google, turn on the recording light. Forgot about that. Oh wait, now I can actually like shift consume TP. Nice. Yeah, sneak being binded is definitely important. Zero rat. It's a new one. I'll probably also be making a video on this controller support mod pretty soon, which, for the sake, like, I pretty much said everything the video is going to say. So yeah, but that's not really, you know, combat update. I mean, technically this is a feature on combat update, but honestly, it will probably come before the combat update, like as I've been saying. I think we'll see this released before combat for the sake of bug testing, really. Like, I think the video will come out, and then I'll have like an alpha build pretty soon here that everyone can download and optionally add to Apollo. And then a little bit later, we'll actually will actually port the thing itself. But it will actually be in the mod pack after some testing. Probably just a skill issue, to be honest. You probably clicked the control button wrong. You know, it's pretty difficult to click. You know, you're supposed to triple click in perfect timing. Like, you're supposed to parry the controls button, you know? Why the fuck is my stamina not regenerating? Thanks, game. All my homies hate stamina regen. It's interesting. I'm actually curious, what line is that? 160, eh? Really? That's what's crashing? Oh, you're... Oh. They'll do it. Yeah, they'll do it. It's because is your controller actually plugged in, Cat? Because it was crashing because a button, a null pointer, right? It was trying to reference something that was null, and that was only initialized if you have a controller connected. I fixed the actual crash. That's already patched, but your controller's not actually detected. Actually, oh, that's your whole log. 1 second. Let me see. Do you have a USB-C cable? Bluetooth should work, but it'd be worth giving it a shot. That log doesn't include literally fucking anything. Can you send me, like, FML something? Because I don't know why. Sometimes latest log just doesn't do its job. The FML log should be a significantly larger file, too. That's an easy way to tell. I don't know why it does that. It's very frustrating. Because, like, all that included was some chat messages in the crash. And there's a bunch of debug I was looking for. Because the reason your controller's not being detected is probably just because I need to just, like, you know. There you go. That's the right one. What controller do you have, Vox? Yeah. You know, I've actually thought that, like, doing a coding stream, and ironically, I think the controller mod is the actual perfect thing to do, because, like, who gives a shit if I show code for the controller mod, of all things? Like, if someone wants to steal the I mean, it's gonna be a public mod anyway, so someone will probably do that without me, you know, showing it anyway. That's a nice USB receiver you have there, Cat. The config prints all your devices. Which one is it? Is it Gaming KB? What the fuck? Dude, devices are named so stupidly in Windows Device Manager. Oh, okay. So it's on your side then? Cool. Makes my life easy. Oh, I just deleted the file. You're cooked. Can you tell me the device name in, like, Windows Device Manager, please? That would help. Because I think... Let me check some. Let me go actually look at... You just type in controller, setup USB game controller should pop up. Mine is just called wireless controller, because, you know, Windows doesn't give a fuck about PlayStation, of course. Oh. Why is my enemy still here? What the heck? Probably because he's literally my enemy, if I had to guess. It's actually kind of funny. Let's try some random device. I have a bunch of weirdly named devices myself. I didn't name them, obviously. They're just like... It probably does. Chances are basically every controller you're going to grab that's third party is just going to be a Microsoft controller. Because if they want it to work on Windows, the easiest way to do that is just make it Xbox internally. Which it doesn't like actually mean it's anything Xbox. It's literally just like default Windows, you know, which of course is basically Xbox, because of course it would be. What's up, Cat? That KV or whatever? It's kind of sick to just press down on my D-pad real quick to charge key. Like, that's honestly really cool. Interesting. I actually don't know. Did you go to USB game controllers? That's where I see mine. That's the easiest way for me. It might also be different though, because I mean, I don't know. It's honestly very shocking to me how easy it was to go code controller support. Like, obviously this is like tens of hours of development, but like controller support's pretty cool for tens of hours of development, in my opinion. Like, that's totally reasonable. Very convenient that I always play on the weekends, so I always get the boost. Oh, I like this arena. Also, if y'all didn't see, we did a like a survey asking you guys to vote for the next. We're adding some new challenge arenas. If you guys want to vote on that survey, it's in the Discord hashtag polls channel. It'd be epic to get some more votes on that, so we can see what you guys think. We'll probably add a few of the top ones. That's interesting. Oh, good, nice. I assume you just have Xbox glyphs on your screen, right? Or in, like, the controls menu. And I did fix the actual crash you had, though. So, that will be good. Oh, my joysticks are getting stuck. Pressed it down a lot. Dude, live debugging. Hey, this makes the podcast more interesting. Sometimes it just gets boring beating up enemies the entire time with nothing to actually talk about. So, I'm very happy to have a topic. It's probably something I should try to do more in these podcasts, to be honest. Actually, like, have a good topic to lead with. Like, a good entire podcast thing to talk about. This is honestly really fun to play with controller. Like, I'll reiterate, the gameplay loop itself isn't fun. But, dude, compared to playing with mouse and keyboard, I'm just chilling. Like, here, check this out. You know, see that? Oh, controller, man. Hold up. Let me lore accurate here how I play games on controller. Okay, my headphone cord isn't long enough. I usually do this the other way, but for podcast sake, I'll do it this way. See that? Just kick back. This controller, this cord's really short. Just chilling. Kicked back. You know. Can you send me a picture of your controller, Cat? Because the fucked up part is sometimes controllers just actually are really fucking weird. Like, when they decide to just not be Microsoft and just, like, have their own little button things that make no sense. But I also don't know, because or I could probably just look up the damn controller, but a picture might be quicker. I'm gonna die. Look at that guy. Oh, you can't transform at all right now, Vox. It's not about modifiers. It doesn't. You do not need modifiers for that. I just haven't made quick selection work at all. It's not a modifiers issue. It's just I need to actually make quick selection work with the controller. I already have something in mind, though. Don't worry. Hey, buddy. Watch out, bud. Go. Hey. Come Taking up way too much floor space. Go on. Go on. Go lay down. I hate whenever I adjust my chair. Okay, I could probably do a quest now. I'm gonna have to actually do that on keyboard because I cannot heal. One thing though, the dire reality of controller support is that at the end of the day, it's always going to be easier to play Apollo on mouse, right? Because just menus and blah blah blah, like I can make it better, but it will never be quite one-to-one. But I think that's the case for a lot of games that are PC, and then like Final Fantasy 14 on the controller. Come on now. The fact that that's even possible is insane to me. But yet, some people play exclusively like that. Oh, God. That's like Nintendo layout, isn't it, Cat? Yeah, that's not really a... They're backwards because most people don't assume they're going to be like that. Yeah, that's a Nintendo layout. That's fucking weird. Makes sense though. I can add that. I can have a alternate where it just flops those buttons. That's easy enough. Let me note that down. Also, the fact that it's recognizing it as a PlayStation controller is funny. There's an easy way I could debug this with you later, Kat. It will be easier if I like set up some console stuff so I can actually like read it in console. We can figure that out later though, don't worry. That makes sense. Yeah, that's literally because like for PlayStation and Xbox, they both have every button is just like button 1, button 2, etc. So like they're different from Xbox to PlayStation in my experience. And then they're probably different on that, and they're probably different on something else, and they're probably, you know. So I'm going to have to, manually do that, but that's totally fine. I honestly should... I kind of want to buy that controller. Not just to fix that. Like, I've wanted one, but, like, might be a good idea to have one of those format controllers. It's also like $30, so who cares? So they have like a premium version, and I'm not spending $70 on that. Yeah, this is intended to be like, they literally have an intent like a Switch 2 specific. Yeah, of course. Oh, probably. I should probably buy it. I really don't. The colors are honestly really goofy. Ultimate V2. I'm looking at the... Wait, the Ultimate. You got the expensive $70 one? I'm just gonna send a screenshot of what I'm seeing. Or was it? Sure, there's nothing sensitive here now. Okay, I'll look at that more later. I don't want to spend too much time shopping on Amazon on the podcast, right? I actually think one thing that will be specifically better about controller support is quick selection. Like, I'm pretty confident that will end up feeling better. Ooh, let's link the stream in the chat again. Been a while. But I said I didn't think you'd buy the expensive version. I think the biggest difference is literally just that, like, one of them you need a dongle and the other one you just can, like, Bluetooth and stuff. Which, honestly, Bluetooth is better, but, like, it's a $30 controller. I'll take a dongle, right? Yeah, please do. Might buy it, might not. It really depends how annoying debugging it with you later is, because if it's a simple process of doing that, then I won't bother buying it, but if I have an excuse to buy the controller, I will, basically. Ooh, look at that TP. All right, what do I need to upgrade? So, 18K versus... a little bit more con might help. I think, honestly, Dex, I'm gonna have to do it. 40% Dex hurts, but this quest whoops my ass. And a little bit of... oh, wait, I have God form. What am I doing? I'm just holding back earlier when I was farming. You know, no big deal. Oh my gosh, he hurts. Wow. Borrow a cup of TP. A cup of TP. That's good. Okay, this is way better than it was last stream. I was say that and I almost die. Watching the enemy's health regen when you fight them is so frustrating. Dude, I cannot wait for, like, heals to, like, be less of the gameplay loop, because the fact that I'm sitting here, like, paying attention to my heals and my health more than I am, like, actually the end, like, I'm just spam clicking. Otherwise, I'm just healing, you know? It's honestly a very, very Minecraft gameplay loop. Cannot wait until it's a little bit, you know, engaging, and hopefully I'm not spending the entire fight just healing, which obviously I should be stronger for this quest, but this is genuinely kind of just how you progress, more or less. Like, yes, I could have farmed for another hour or two to make this a lot easier, but, like, I do not want to do that. And, you know, Dex is smelly, so it's kind of just how every fight ends up feeling. Let me use that. Dang. That was some heal spamming right there, but I did it. I'll take almost 16 mil TP for that. Or peel shop. Give me some of those. Nice. See that method right there? Genius. I cannot wait until, like, these shops use, like, digitals any, dude. Ugh. It's so, like, frustrating to have to sit here and just do what I'm doing. So many little quality of life improvements still to be made, despite all the quality of life already done. It's insane. There's still so much. I don't know why I wasn't just shift clicking. Definitely not gonna beat God Vegeta. Let's go do some GT real quick. I don't really need more spirit. I'm feeling okay on that. Look, Key Fist could be cool. Don't really care too much though. Key Fist is already doing nice 36k for me. Not too worried about that. What the heck? Definitely not on that quest. Blow pan. Wait, is there a Dragon Ball here? I think I've been keeping up with the Dragon Balls. Does not appear so. Chief collectibles. How we doing? Appears I only have 2 black stars left, which are probably in the next 2 quests or something. Something like that. I think there's like 3, 4 more quests. This guy's health just goes off the screen. Oh my god, he doesn't even damage me, bro. What? I think I beat the last quest and just assumed this guy would be challenging. I think that's what happened. Look at his skin, man. That's a cool skin. Work really cooked on that. Cannot wait for these guys to have joints. It's actually going to be so incredible. If you guys haven't already seen the video showing animated NPCs, you should check it out because it is crazy. I'm very excited for this combat update, just in general, broadly speaking. Sigma Force Commander Nezzy. What a name. Where's... Oh, there she is. It's a cool map. It's definitely barren, but that's literally like what it looked like in the anime. So. Ooh. Forgot that I could see what current quest I'm at. Love that change. Very subtle, very cool. Alright, one more Dragon Block. Hello, Mr. Goku. Damages me like so little. I don't think I'm gonna need to heal this entire fight. If I do, I'll just eat some dino meat, bro. Yeah, I'll pop some dino meat, good for the stamina, really. Energy pill to subsidize my key usage here. It really is kind of funny how long I've been working on this server. Like we're about to be 5 years remastered, and then 7.5 years of Apollo in general. And then I've been working on servers like a year or 2 even before that. Bro, I've almost been doing Minecraft servers for a decade. Can you... Like, what? That is so crazy to think about. It's even more crazy, too, that, like, I haven't run out of things to do. Because I feel like usually at this point in, like, working on something, you run out of things to do. But, nope, I actually have too much to do. My list is actually very, very long. A little bit too long. This guy will benefit from having his skin be replaced. Oh, my. Damaging. Oh, boy. Dex. Literally was taking, like, slivers of damage. Like, 1% damage a hit. And now this guy's chunking me for 8%. Yeah. Nice. It's like, this is the example I give every time I explain Dex being removed. It always works without fail. I'm just like, you're fighting a quest, it's on level. The next one barely hurts you. The next one whoops your ass. And, like, everyone's like, okay, yeah, you're right. And I'm like, thank you, thank you. Because it's just such an easy, relatable explanation for why Dex sucks. And it's not even a DBC issue. Like, yeah, it comes from DBC, but, like, frankly, that's kind of just... I don't know. It's nobody's fault, right? It's just... The Dex worked for base DBC in its own way, and it just does not work how we've handled it. And we cannot scale around it. Hence why, you know, we have a different idea. Nice. I'm just gonna warp back to quest to heal. And my next quest, I'll get a Dragon Block. Let's go ahead and grab that real quick. There it is. I remember this one. I've seen it many, many times. Dude, I should use my tier 2 souls. Wow. I could trade them up to tier 3, but meh. I don't really care. It's kind of bittersweet, like getting so much XP and stuff for your old forms, right? I gotta say, the luck system, like, since that was that, like, obviously I got stronger and I was just beating the guy I was farming faster, but I've been farming the same guy since before luck until now. So I can say with certainty that the luck system was beautiful. Like, it hit just perfect. It feels a little good, but then I remember, oh wait, like, this good that it feels was literally like me grinding the same enemy and getting my luck up on him. So it's not as if it's just good and it's just free buff, right? Because it was actual effort to get that stuff. It was not free. Oh, that was beautiful. Whoa, 400 XP. Oh, oopsie. I'm always scared I'm gonna buy the wrong XP. I'll just be cooked. I think I've done that once, maybe. Man, shift stack consumption. It's beautiful. Just come in here. Beep, beep, beep. Done. Oh, it's a bug. 0% that it says. Did final form just get... Oh, it stacked the... I see. Stacked other Z-Soul usage to this. Okay. The bugged message. I got no XP for God form. This is so sad. I really wish they had some other colors, by the way, Kat. I don't know if you're still in the stream. I just saw your message and PMs, but like I wish they had other colors because I really don't like their color selection. Like, I don't want a pastel pink, green, or blue controller. Like, it's a really weird array of colors. I mean, honestly, though, I guess if they're just trying to not be boring and... Because, yeah, they could have just done black, white, and, like, one color. But I guess, you know. I realistically don't even care, but... Like, compared to, like, the kind of stuff you can get for, like, a PS5 controller. Like, I have a standard white one. Love the design of it, though. But then I also have, like... I bought the Cosmic Red, as they call it. And also the... I don't know, it's like this pearlescent blue, purple. It looks kind of galaxy-like. Very interesting looking. I don't have it here. I think I have the red one here, but the other one's over at the lady's house. Because, yeah, I, like, bought it for her since she has a PS5 over there that she uses. Wait, why am I... What the heck? My jump button was pressed down? Okay, that's odd. I was just explaining that, like, the color... I think I already said it. Just the colors, they suck. Like, I'm not a fan of the selection. But, you know, that's really... whatever. Wish they had more generic colors. Why is everything, like, every button getting jammed down right now? What the heck was going on there? The 8-bit DO controller. The colors they offer are pretty underwhelming in my opinion. Because you mentioned it, like, you got the Wukong one because it was black, and, like, I just wish they had, like, a generic black one. Probably I should get a little bit more spirit. Right. Honestly, the design's pretty cool. I might get that one, to be honest. But then again, I might also just get one of the pastel ones, because I don't really... Like, I have plenty of generic-looking controllers, so maybe I should, you know, go for a more out-there one. I remember I showed it to Bree, and she was just like, this is ugly. And I'm like... Can't deny that. A little bit more, I don't know, because I obviously just need Dex to beat Quest, but I really don't want to just keep Dex stacking, right? Like, that's not... I tried to avoid that. I just realized the fact that I have more spirit than health is actually kind of surreal. Like, obviously I know spirit, like, scales like that, like, it's just crazy, but, like, it's honestly really nutty to see. You know, one thing kind of neat about the combat update is I feel like we don't really even need to adjust spirit more than, like, a normal adjustment, you know, with whatever other changes are relative. Like, I feel like spirit doesn't really need to change super, because, like, we're not really touching form drains. We're trying to, like, form drains are ironically one of the things that we're like, okay, they're good. Let's actually ignore that. Which is, I think, symbolic of why spirit just isn't changing, because it's, like, the most simple stat. I was just saying we probably won't need to change, like, spirit and, like, form drains, because I feel like they're more or less fine in combat update, of course. Compared to other stats, obviously. Just kind of funny to think about. I forget what I said before that. Was it something about combat spirit stuff? That's pretty much all I said. Oh, I was laughing about how, like, health, like, I have less health than spirit, but, like, you know, that doesn't really matter. I think it's just kind of funny the way they scale like that. I think I get, like, oh yeah, 43 spirit for every point compared to, like, 23 health. That's crazy. Pretty good, Pumpkin. We're having a pretty great day so far. Okay, if you wanted after podcast, we could hop on, we could go on a call and talk about the thing we were working on. Obviously, don't say it on the podcast, because it is still secret for the moment. That's sick, Pumpkin. I watched AOT, 2020? I don't know, whenever the final season was starting to air, I ended up starting to watch it again. Because I watched, like, season 1 ages ago, then I picked it up on season 2, finished it up to part 1 of season 4, you know, the final, and then ended up rewatching it again with the lady, because she actually, like, really enjoyed watching it, which was a pleasant surprise, because she's not usually someone into a lot of the same, like, anime type stuff as me, so that was very nice. forgot about this coffee. Don't key blast me, dude. Let me think of a specific example. I'll probably have to DM you it. Probably just mostly like figuring out the arrangement more, because I was stuck on what we last talked about in regards to Obsidian. Which on it, because I want to just have like a good demo to show them. You know what I mean? I want to have like a good, hey, this is the vibe. So putting just a couple things in each category. We probably don't need to talk, but it might be easier for me to work on. I'll see how I'm feeling. I might just work on the controller mod. We'll see. I have been working on the controller mod like all week as a kind of break from combat. So maybe I do pause that, work on the other thing, and then get back to controller later. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it really is just planning and like plotting the, you know, it's a lot of this system on like literally like, this is one of like the most systems where it's just like, this is scaling and planning and design before any actual, because like the code is just what makes it work. It's the vessel, right? Like it's basically like you gotta, I made the game engine part of it, and now we have to make the thing with it. Okay. No worries. No rush on that, of course. I can probably more or less figure out what I wanted to show for a video anyway, even without it. Yeah. Let me kill this guy. Gotta gaslight my ADHD brain and get myself like hyped to do something. That's how I get myself working. The fact I was fighting this guy in like racial state earlier is hilarious to me. Wait. Oh. Come on. Oh. Let me go see what quest I could do now. Because I think I'm just farming to farm. Or, no, yeah, I'll go do a quest. I was about to say, maybe I'll wait till I, like, get enough TP for another level, but that's going to be a minute. So, let's not do that. Let's do GT. Because I feel like once I beat this first saga, I'll be back to a few easy quests for TP. Maybe. Totally talking out my ass, I don't know. This guy's chill. Might be a little too strong, I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh no, he's good. Also, wow, loving the 1 to 2 stamina ratio, like strength to stamina, excuse me. It's a great feeling. Or con. This guy's easier than God Goku, so there's that. I will die, but I beat the quest. I have been defeated, but I have won. Nice. But at what cost? Another black star right away? Dude, let's go. Oh, that's funny. I think I already had this bug noted at some point, but let me note that again. Oh, you know, anything else about the podcast, ignoring every other part of the podcast, the fact that I find so many bugs on the podcast is so beautiful. Because it's just so many things to fix. And I sound like I'm a masochist. But no, I do genuinely enjoy finding bugs. Because, you know, just know that I'm making the thing better. You know, because one less bug, one less issue, you know, all that fun business. Has everyone seen the last combat demo, the one posted about key blasts? How'd you guys like that? The basic little M1 style key blasts, little volley, whatever you want to call it. You just shoot them out rapidly. How you guys like the idea of that so far? No! Oh, I'm goated. The fact I stayed in that corner was such a bad idea. Gosh. I'm glad you thought so, Pumpkin. I was super happy whenever that, like, I started working on those visuals internally. Like, I was so excited for that. We'll be back to working on Key pretty soon. We're working on a little side project right now that will obviously also be for combat, but we'll see. You guys will see that pretty soon here, so don't worry. Okay, warp quest. I think I can go do the... I'm actually... Oh, I'm missing a couple Dragon Balls. Oopsie. I think I got this one. Oof. I actually missed them in in quests before this. Yikes. Stellar Battle? It would be a little awkward if there's a Dragon Ball in space. Okay, so the next normal Dragon Ball is actually, like, the last quest, probably. Because that was number 5, and I already had it. Why do I keep going for normal balls? That's a sentence. Nice, okay. Now we've seen number 1, which is probably a few quests back if I had to guess. Let's take a gamble there. Yeah. Dude, that was genius, because we're not going to put a Dragon Ball back to back. Using my game sense, dude. I just took advantage of the fact that I made the game. That's crazy. I didn't place them. Cat actually did. So technically, I don't know where they are, except for the fact that I've collected them like a dozen times. Should have put the Dragon Ball here. Missed opportunity. I cannot wait to get 5th form, dude. He's gonna look so fucking cool on this character. Like, I didn't even think about that until right now. Oh, is he gonna whoop my ass? Honestly? Wait. Mid-battle. Mid-battle Dex. There we go. What now? Literally. Even if you did... You know, I think you deserve, you know, even if you did remember where they were placed, which I don't think anybody would, mind you, it's like 200 of them. I think you deserve that at that point, you know. I think you've earned it. You've earned your couple Dragon Balls, your bread, your French Revolution rations. Oh, sorry, that was loud. Slapped my microphone. I hope this guy doesn't fucking transform, bro. I'm gonna lose my shit. I feel he's definitely going to. Also, the fact that Super Saiyan Vegeta is this strong is kind of frustrating. We should have made this like a multi-stage fight where he goes like base, super, you know, just like Goku again. End every saga with an annoying ass staged boss fight. That would be something. We shouldn't do that. Don't do that. I knew it. The 180? I gotta... No, that's not happening. Get me out of here. Go. He almost just murdered me. My reaction on the stream. 180, bro? He went from 150 to 180. What the hell is this scaling? What the fuck? I'm pulling up the quest sheet right now, Cat, because I'm genuinely curious to see what the numbers are. I'm not saying they're bad, I'm just like, I'm really curious. Because that was such a jump. Like, yeah, he's the Saga boss, but like, holy shit. Man, all of Z is like a cruise. And then you hit Super, and it's just it's wall. Honestly, I don't hate it though. Like I feel like Super being or Z being like a nice just progression. Like obviously it gets hard in the Buu Saga, but it being like smooth and then it hitting in Super, not too bad. Also considering I can go do GT. Like I'm not walled on GT quite yet. So like it kind of it's the best it's ever been without a doubt. Yeah, that is a crazy jump. Okay, well, no. I was fighting a Goku that was 165 not that long ago. Vegeta's really not that much stronger. Like, yeah, he is. He's got like a 99,000 more damage. But it's also a case, like, every time, you know, I'm going to beat him, and then every quest after him, like, I have 4 free quests because they're all weaker than him. So, like, it balances. I'm just bitching. I just, you know, I have the advantage of being able to look at the numbers and bitch professionally. I can go beyond players complaining about hard quests. I can complain with factual numbers. Tell us about the tessellation again. The what now? Square makes circle. I feel like that's a based question from someone named Square makes circle. Which tessellation? Don't give me PTSD. Let me go do GT quests. That was a jaw-dropping fight. Oh wait, I probably have some of these I could do. Did I beat? Wait. No, I beat all the movie packs. Wait, did I? I think those just aren't counting. Maybe I didn't beat the last Fusion Reborn quest. Let's go find out. I feel like I did. Yeah, I did. Okay, it's a bug. There we go, noted that down. What about my other ones? Yeah, those are all good, cool. Go do GT. Oh, wait, did I get all my collectibles there? Achieve collectibles. Not spamming heals. Boss kill you in 2 shots, dude. No, he killed me in at least like 3 shots, not 2. Come on, man. Yes, I have all of the collectibles. Just missing a bunch in GT, of course. This is the baby quest line. Gonna beat my ass. Giant tiger, nice. It's very nice to be able to step back and be like, okay, I'm gonna go do GT now instead of Super. Especially considering GT has more quests than Super. Like, well, Super has what, 30... 41 versus 52, yeah. Nice. Super GT's got like a whole saga. I mean, it does have 4 sagas, so that would do it. This one's strong ass tiger. This is the, I mean, this is like, I'm on an alien planet, so, you know, everything's excusable by the fact that he's just some crazy alien tiger. It's normal on this planet, you know? GT in a nutshell was just, yeah, this is a different planet, so of course this guy's strong, and of course you've never heard about him. Classic. Classic writing trope. On some, my girlfriend goes to another school, dude. Holy shit. If I could focus one of them. It's the most annoying thing about multi-enemy quests. Cat, I just thought about something. In the combat update, are we gonna have, like, mechanics like uppercutting? Are we gonna, like, not have that work on giant enemies? Or am I gonna be able to uppercut a fucking dinosaur? Can I combo the dino, uppercut him in the air, and down slam him? Like, I think in theory you could still land the uppercut, but it just, like, doesn't knock them back. Like, they have they got a lot of knockback resistance because they're heavy, especially vertically. Because in general, you wouldn't want an enemy this big to be knocked back, like, a lot. Although we'll see how it plays out mechanically. That matters a lot more. Dino, yes, or Rudigar, no. The Dino would just be funny as shit to uppercut. Like, Dino training, like, you know, the second quest, you're definitely not doing that, because I think things like uppercutting and all that kind of crazy combat will be gated behind some kind of progression. But yeah. It'd be funny if it's, like, specific mechanics. I don't know if it will be that in-depth. Like, I want combat to be in-depth, but one thing to remember is we have, like, 300 enemies, you know? Which we have the benefit that most of them are humanoid, and most of them are going to just play the exact same. That is true. That honestly, sometimes I forget that, like, thinking logically doesn't work because Dragon Ball just is a goofy anime. Like, they don't really, you know, they don't give a shit. The big wham. Vox is still in the hub. I wonder if he's messing around with the controller or just AFK. You still in the stream, Vox? Wonder. Oh, I hate multi-enemy quests. They're so exhausting because that was such an easy, I hate just, like, I guess I don't know, because what's the trade-off, right? Like that Tiger fight where he just had a shit ton of health. What's the trade-off? Just make him really easy to kill? Because he can't... Because, like, the thing about Dex is it balances in such a way where it's like, okay, this guy doesn't hurt me, but he's still a long fight because he has a shit ton of health. Just because he does a little bit less damage, you know? But it just feels terrible to sit there for, like, actually 2 minutes fighting an enemy that doesn't hurt you. Because it feels like it's an easy fight that's just dragged out, right? But, like, fixing that is very challenging with Dex right now. Which is why we're just not fixing it. We're just removing Dex. Sort of. Oh my gosh. Oh, these guys might actually be weak, though. Oh my gosh, yeah. See, this is the kind of multi-enemy quest I like. Yeah, literally. I mean, really, the issue does just entirely come down to Dex. Like, obviously, little bit of other things, but, like, Dex is, like, the core problem. I think genuinely the entire game is just going to already feel better with damage. Like, let me just put it like this. If those enemies were damaging me a little bit and that fight was dragged out and took 2 minutes, I'd at least feel better. Because at least I know that this enemy is strong enough, you know? So he's still hurting me. But, because the fact that that Tiger was... I'm literally... Like, this would be like Goku taking no damage to an enemy. Like, Goku's just above the enemy taking no damage. But then he just, for some reason, takes, like, 30 minutes to fight the enemy as if it was an on-par enemy. It just makes no sense. That's just entirely not Dragon Ball Power Fantasy. Yeah. I mean, the solution is, I think the easiest thing to say is we're removing Dex and just replacing it with actual defense. Like every game has, right? Like percent reduction. Because, like, more or less, like, this baby guy, like, he's barely damaging me. This feels okay. This long fight feels okay. This is good. But it's just multi-enemies where, like, those guys should be doing, like, 0.01 of my health. Like, nothing. But, like, they should just not be doing 0. Except the Polar Zunamites. They are actually weak as shit. But, like, I meant, like, the Tiger and the Dinos and, you know. Yep. I cannot wait for us to have similar health. Because I think we raised the health pool quite a bit from where players are right now. Because it's all arbitrary numbers, right? Like, we're rescaling the entire game. So it's purely arbitrary. Like, in me saying that, it implies... I mean, I don't need to explain this to you, Kat. It's more for everyone else I'm saying it. But, like, you know, it just implies that other things are changing to fit that. But I think we should more or less... Enemies should, like, be one-on-one. Like, if I have 10 mil health, the enemy has 10 mil health, we should more or less... Yeah, I mean, we have a similar health stat. We did talk about, like, maybe scaling enemies with stats, but we'll see how that works. Like, literally just give them stats. But that might just be complicated, because then how do you handle, like, race and class modifiers on them? Do you just give them, like, an average one? Maybe. Yep. That's pretty much what I explain whenever I drop that info on someone, because obviously they ask how. Actually, I immediately tell them about damage reduction because I know that they're going to be curious. So, before they even get a chance to ask, since you know it's an obvious follow up. I mean, it's okay if they have some more health than you. I don't hate that. I just don't want it to be how it is now. Like, I think enemies get up to, like, 200 mil health, right? Like, that's just ludicrous. Frankly, when you see 200 mil health, that should be a boss that you and a couple people fight. Would you agree? Yeah, dude, players don't even get, like, 3 mil. Am I correct in that? I don't even think we break, like, I think 2.6 feels like it's the most. I don't think we even touch 3. And then enemies easily have 100 mil plus. Like, yeah, integer limit doesn't matter, but I think it's a safe thing to just be like... I'm perfectly cool with that. If the enemy has double my health, that's fine. They should still be a sponge at some point. Because they'll probably have less things that give them damage reduction than us. I'm really excited for how this is going to scale because it's going to feel so much better. Like, I think bosses, like a dungeon boss, should be where you start seeing hundreds of millions of health, right? Like, parties, fusion, stuff like that, where the enemy gets arbitrarily upscaled, is where you see stupid health values. Because, of course. Where are these Dragon Balls, dude? Because I don't imagine enemies are going to have armor that actually affects their damage reduction, because that... no. The thing is, like, enemies will basically come pre-stacked with their own damage reduction from something, and players will wear stuff to match that. You know what I'm saying? The enemies come with more latent damage reduction than players, and players have armor, forms, etc. to compensate. Because I don't think enemies are going to work the same way a player does, in the way of, like, they go into a form to get more damage reduction. Because, like, the issue with that is that would work for a lot of enemies, but, like, it's easier just to be, like, give the NPC itself a damage reduction value that fits. Because when you start being like, oh, this guy's in suit, it just gets stupid, right? Because most enemies don't actually use forms, believe it or not. Like, most are quests. It's easier to say. A lot of the enemies have forms. We just split them into different quests. Yeah, makes sense. I'm really excited to maybe we could chat about that sometime soon here. Trying to come up with spitball some ideas for how we envision enemy damage reduction working, or just enemy stats in general. Because obviously we're basically changing that entirely internally, right? Like, we're not doing the same indexes and weirdness we're doing right now. I'd love to talk about, like, how we want that to work. Do you think, and if you don't want to talk about this on podcast, let me know, but do you think just arbitrarily defining I say arbitrary just because, like, it's just a number input. Do you think just defining their percent damage reduction is smart? Or do you think it should be calculated based on, like, level and just whatever factors they have to determine damage and stuff? If being a calculation makes it easier, but it's entirely up to you, because you're the one, like, scaling these numbers. So if a calculation makes more sense than manual, you know. I just know I'm going to make it pretty easy for questers to input this time around, since I don't want it to be a tedious task. I want to make the input process easy for our team. I'm happy to hear that, Square. We're working our asses off on it. There's a lot more to go. Yeah, it's probably good, Cat. I think a good rule of thumb, Cat, is, like, I think we have too many numbers for NPC input right now, and too many of them work with other things, right? Like, I really hate when, like, the health index affects the fucking... like, a lot of them cross over each other, and it gets really nasty. Like, the wires start crossing, and things just get messy. For, like, seemingly, I mean... You know, all the numbers were obviously arbitrary at the time. They made sense then. We just never changed it, ever. So this is that time. So, you know, it's an aged system. It worked at the time, but not now. Yeah. If you wanted to mock up, like, if you're in the mood for that, you could mock up some idea of what you think inputs should be. Yeah, Kat said something in chat for anyone who wants to read that. Actually, why the fuck don't I just read it? She said, FYI, for anyone wondering, I can't change just damage without also changing health. And I wanna be the first to say, like, the reason that is not someone else. Like, it wasn't like DBC did it or NPCs did it. It was us, specifically me. Like, I made these numbers, like these calculations in 1.0, and we just haven't updated them. Right? Like, they're just outdated. They're 5 years old at this point. So they just don't really fit our scaling to a T as much as they need to. So we're just changing them. I think the amount of inputs we have now. Yeah. That's probably true. Because you want a damage one, you want a health one, then we add a damage reduction. Probably still have level. I don't know. How do you feel about enemies having stats? Like, just giving them stat values. I think that's honestly another one of those things where it's easier just to plug numbers in. It honestly is Square. I think it's honestly easier to, like, not use enemy stats, right? Because we're just gonna end up spending too much time, like, matching the players, and it's just gonna be easier just to plug in numbers that make sense. Because, like, fundamentally, the way the NPC scaling works now isn't the issue. It's just, like, it's just a little too messy, right? Like, it's not... Yeah, I think that makes sense. Actually, that's a great idea. Because then you just arbitrarily... So are you saying they would have stats in that example? And basically, instead of them pulling from race, you know, like how players have stats, and then that's modified off the race and the class and stuff, basically, the NPC would just have Saga as their race class. And that would effectively just be arbitrarily set, you know? Whatever it ends up working out to. Dangerous stratum hidden right here. Dude, every time I go over here to trade heals, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need to make this digital. It hurts. I think changing per saga is a safe bet. I mean, I think fundamentally it's pretty safe to say that we're going to keep our general scaling curve and our general progression, because I don't have an issue with that, right? Like the way... Let me just give some examples. Like, you know, a lot of people bring up this example where they're like, why is this enemy weirdly strong? Like, people will point out to us that, hey, this enemy, like Yao Kahn, is obviously weak. You know, like... the non-canon scaling we do very often, where it's like enemies, basically you're just in the Babidi Saga, so everyone's just that much strong. You'll end up with weak enemies. Like, you have criminals that could beat Frieza in our scaling. Does that make sense? Hell no. But for like an RPG, yes. And like that's the idea, right? And I think that's gonna stay. Like, that's not changing. Yeah, I think per saga having like a modifier is perfectly fine. Yep. So we can kind of assume... Hell, we could even get pretty meta with it and like... have a couple of these modifiers internally where it's like we kind of treat them just as if it was a form. Like, we give them some base value form multiplier. It's like if you're fighting Kid Buu, he'll be basically using a tier 3 form in terms of his modifiers. That would be very meta. I don't know if that's even necessary or if numbers could just achieve this anyway. But honestly, it's all just number fuckery anyway. It's whatever ends up being the simplest for us to internally understand. It doesn't really matter. Scaling is a black magic, you know? Like, it doesn't really need to make sense to anyone except the people doing the scaling. So, pretty much you, Cat, and then, like, you know, other people so they can talk to you about it. Yeah. Well, Rook is pushing very hard for, like, specific... One thing I do want to mention, I don't think I've probably mentioned it before, but, like, Rook is pushing pretty hard for, like, to really make these bosses unique, right? Like, giving combat styles to different bosses. He's pushing very hard for that. He wants to actually make the bosses unique, which I'm not against it. I'm just saying he's pushing hard for it. I think it'd be very nice if we put a lot of extra effort into boss scaling. Because they're, you know, that is, like, where it's at. Like, that should be, like, 4 quests of effort into 1 quest. Because, of course, right? Like, it's the most important fight of every saga. Which doesn't really mean much in your case. Like, frankly, there's not really much else you need to do. You might just be scaling a couple special key blasts for them or something. I don't know, right? Because ideally, like, you know, Frieza would use, like, a supernova and, like a laser beam and, you know, maybe one of those discs. Whatever it is, right? Like, you want, yeah. You pretty much want, like, Vegeta to actually hit a Gallic gun on you. Because that's just meta as hell. Every enemy shooting, like, Gohan shooting fucking purple key blast is crazy. Playing as the villain would be funny. Wait, oh, I got a new... Wait, what? What form did I just get? Did I just get Primal? Hold up. I gotta clickbait this, bro. I can't show this on... What? It's okay. I'll just title the next one. Dude, Oh, wait. I got... Oh. Wait, I already had Primal mode. That was odd. What did I actually just unlock? I already had Primal mode. I think I unlocked Primal Training. That was odd. I need to note that down. I literally just got, like, pump faked for getting 5th form. This is crazy. I think I'll straight up wait till next stream to get my 5th form, since I'm already, like, halfway through this stream. Yeah, I'm totally just gonna wait till next stream to do this. Oh, wait, do I actually have access to this yet? Or did I just... Because it lets me teleport admin and stuff. GT 208? I think I just beat 208. I don't like that it says bypass, because I can't even... Oh, yeah, I beat 208. We're good. Nice. It's like Dragon Ball... Oh, my... 1? What? Oh my gosh! I think he hit me with a Ki blast there, but dude, it is like jaw-dropping when an enemy is that strong, just out of nowhere. You just get your ass whooped. Watching this back on the stream right now. He just, oh yeah, health gone. I already have 40% dex. Do some more con. Do I have people that drop God Key yet? Let's see. Super Goku then? He does, but like... Yeah, true. Oh, of course, I haven't unlocked that Vegeta yet. These background choices piss me off, and I want to clear. I selected these, but like, God Goku with the background of like, ROF, and then Vegeta, like God Vegeta with the background of like copy Vegeta pisses me off because they are both in blue in both of these points. So it's like, it pisses me off. Also, those like background pictures are so disgusting. Like I took those terribly. Definitely gonna change these. I mean, I'm gonna have to because all of their skins changed as well. So I'll do that a little later. No worries. That's true. I mean, I've already my luck stat is cranked. One thing I kind of want to change about luck vaguely, I feel like there should be some global-esque kind of luck when I'm farming the same enemy. Like Super Goku, right? Like I feel like all of his stars should go up a little bit. Like something in between local and global. Where it's like familiar luck, where Goku 1-star will affect Goku's 2-star, but not a crazy amount. Not the same as local, but like not as little as global. Because global is way too subtle for that to really be, you know, part of the convo there. But because it is a little frustrating because I farmed like Super Buu 4-star before I had 5-star, and that was just who I locked in on. So like now I'm just never gonna touch 5-star because, you know, the drops are similar enough. It's a little frustrating, but so holy shit, this guy's strong. Not even strong, just like lots of health. 2 God XP. Some good TP though. How much God XP do I need? Oh. That's not terrible, because he could drop 7. Need a plot armor stat. True. A Dex is your plot armor stat right now, actually. I cannot wait for all these guys to have updated skins, dude. It is gonna look so good because, like, just looking at this Goku skin, this ugly, like his actual skin, not his face is fine, the outfit's fine, that's literally what the players wear, but just looking at his, like, disgusting actual body, because, like, you know, player bodies are, like, very high-res and detailed at this point. Not high-res, that's not the right word, but a lot more detailed than that. The, like, actual vanilla Minecraft skin that he has under his outfit, which is not that noticeable, mind you, but I notice. I care. Technically, Spirit gives defense. More offense means you need less defense. Con literally gives you health, so defense. And then energy is key defense. And then willpower, it's just offense again. So, yeah. She's got a point, guys. She's onto something there. Three kills for 11 XP. Not bad. Oh, maybe you want to go into form? Oh, a con. I need like double my con to be able to kill him. This is unfortunate. Get a lot stronger for that to work. Do I have my armor maxed? I actually don't know. Let's see. Oh, I sure do. Full strength, baby. In 9%. And then 13.6 on the yeah, that's good. Hey Kat, I got a question for you about armor. Why does armor full set not just give more melee damage, right? Like, I know you didn't decide this, just to be clear. This is like a why don't we change this kind of thing? Because it's like, the only stat, you don't even get full set con. There's just, yeah, I feel like we should change full set to just be melee damage, because I feel like it also, like, having strength and melee damage is just weird. Because then it just makes it a little bit more confusing to understand when we could just say melee damage. You get, you upgrade your melee damage, you enhance for more melee damage, you get full set bonus, also gives you more melee damage. That's it. Or we just have them upgrade strength, but I feel like I like the way melee damage, I like the way that's laid out more. So I think I'd prefer to change full set bonus. We could also just do something else with full set bonus. Like, I don't know. I guess I fundamentally like that it raises your base stat. I think that's the reason, right? Because calculation-wise, 1.09 on strength versus on melee is the exact same result. The difference is just I have higher strength whenever my armor's on. And that just looks cool. Yeah. That's exactly where I was going with it. It's like, we're already going to be touching this. Why don't we, like... Also, I think I've told you before, Kat, but like health and spirit, you know runes, that armor mechanic that's just been sitting there since 1.1 when armor was added. Those were literally going to let you get health, ki, and stamina out of your armor, like the enhancement. So there'd be 7 stats to upgrade instead of just the 4. And you'd use a rune and you can unlock an extra stat, basically, is what was going to happen. That's probably not going to happen until dungeons, but hey, maybe we just say fuck it and give some armor, like some of those things. Yeah. This would be something I'd love to talk about more, because I feel like armor is pretty boring, but that's also just down to the stats per usual. Let me finish my God Goku here. I actually got to pay a little bit more attention on this guy. I think I'd like a little bit more spirit. I think I'll upgrade spirit. I don't like dealing, and I know my key drain's going to go up before I get God Key, so... You know. Yeah, more or less, Kat. We're pretty well confirmed on it. Nobody's really had any notable criticism on stats, so I'm pretty confident we're just gonna move forward with stat changes. She asked me if they were confirmed, just for everyone wondering why I'm schizophrenically talking to her. The stat changes, if they were confirmed, and I said yes. Because, yeah. Like, they're still not finalized, so, yeah, you could talk about them. I talk about them. But you could talk about them, but just always emphasize that, like, hey, these are work in progress. That's all I ask. Because I don't want people thinking we're talking final stuff. Which is the implication of everything we talk about, but it's important to, especially with stats, since they're very... very conversation. Ooh, Voki. Nice, nice, nice. That hurt. Yeah. Yeah, fundamentally, armor, like... Well... That's actually a great question. Kat, this ties into the question a lot of people have asked us, right? That's stinky. 1 second. Double posted the vote party. Just looks weird. Okay. So think about armor right now, right? A lot of the sets, there's key and damage sets. There's key and melee sets. Yeah, actually, that's a good point, Kat. Because we're still gonna have a melee and a key power stat to differentiate the two. So just yeah, actually, full set just becoming actual stats would just be actual output stats. Excuse me, melee damage, etc. Do we like full set bonus though? Like, I think that's a conversation we should have. Do we even want full set bonus to exist? I think that's a good combo to have because, like, full set bonus inherently pushes you to wear the same set. Like, I'm wearing Broly's set because obviously the whole set is just good, but the full set bonus means I'm only wearing Broly's set. I think there's something to be said that, like, encouraging people to mix match would be interesting. Like, what if there's... Because I think the stats should be a lot more nuanced. I don't just think Z Broly set should just be melee damage on all three of its pieces. What if his pants gave a little bit more defense? Stuff like that, right? I agree. Probably for the sake of combat, we just translate armor. I think a lot of things in combat are just being translated to new systems. I'd like to keep the workload pretty low because I really don't want to have an entire another rework on my hands. If armor can just be you send me some new numbers and I throw them in, that would be ideal. You know, and I just like change the text. That would be preem. Cyberpunk reference. Ugh. But like, I really don't want to have to like. I would love this, but I think this is like Dungeons. Dungeons is the gear and armor time. Let's, you know. Because I already had some ideas for full set where they can start getting things like movement speed, things like that kind of stuff. A question. So instead of armor having the defense stat, is it going to become damage reduction %? How does this work in your mind? Because I think armor giving damage reduction would be completely logical. Like, I think that should be a thing. Because, like, when you think about putting armor on, you probably expect to take less damage, right? Go for it. This is mostly just an open conversation. I kind of already knew where you were with a lot of these things, but it's kind of just a cool combo to have for anyone watching. And if anyone in the chat wants to jump in and give some input, feel free. This is not a private combo. If you guys want to add your thoughts, feel more than free. We wouldn't be having it in public, right, if we didn't want you guys to. We love feedback. And if you're not aware of kind of what we're talking about, maybe watch the stat proposal video on the channel. There's 2 of them. I'd recommend watching V2 because it's the same ideas refined. So, yeah. We didn't really talk about armor too much in that video, though. It was kind of glazed over. Stat proposal V3 time. Go for it, Kat. Do you mean now or just period? I'm going to assume altogether, like, ever. There's a lot of things. Damn near everything in the stat sheet could be given. This armor gives me more jump height than other armor sets. That would be so fucking silly. That's a pretty good idea, Square. Although I fear that that would you'd have. I'm sure there's probably a shocking amount of like gym bros, right? Because it's Dragon Ball. I feel like a lot of people get inspired to go be gym bros. But like, yeah, no, that'd be rough. definitely not a fan of flat damage reduction. I think, because I thought about that in my head, and the idea was so stinky in my head that I didn't even say it out loud. Because I'm like, I don't want to have to be like, this armor set gives me 10,000 damage reduction. This armor set gives me... Also, wait, that's a good conversation. I think we should think about flat damage reduction a little bit different. So the idea, I'm going to say this for everyone watching. Flat damage reduction is basically current dex. Because we're going into the dex update, we're doing a percent damage reduction. That'll be the main dex thing, or the main defense source. But we also want there to be some kind of latent damage reduction, where, like, you know, you nullify 50,000 damage, so you're not just taking a bunch of damage. Like, when I'm fighting Frieza and I'm a Super Saiyan God, like, Namek Saga Frieza, he shouldn't hurt me. Cell shouldn't even scratch me anymore. Stuff like that, right? Like, that's what that is intended for. And basically, it just reduces any damage you take by that amount. Some of these should be full set exclusive for sure, Cat. There's also a conversation to be had that, like, rarity can be where some of these get introduced. That's kind of what I was planning. I was planning to get into more nuances once rarity happens. You know, you get a epic set of armor. Because right now, we give out uncommon. Common and uncommon. We got rare, I think mythic, or I think I called it epic, and legendary. We got 3 rarities we just don't give right now. Those are all be from dungeons. Which, honestly, I'm going to say this mostly for you, Kat, but, like, I think the way rarities go up, I don't really love the idea of, like, dropping rare, epic, and legendary gear coins in dungeons. That just seems really stinky to me. I think it'd be a lot more logical to drop something that lets you rank up a gear set. Do you know what I mean? So I can take my uncommon gear set and just make it rare and make it epic, and it's just equivalently hard. Because I don't love the idea of, like, gear coins 5 times for every gear set. That's just for every saga. But we could talk about it. That's all nuances. I'm sure we'll have a way better idea when the time comes. Yeah, you probably don't want... Cat, we could just skyblock the gear coins. Holy shit. Okay, we get rid of rarity on gear... Or we don't drop common and uncommon. We just drop common gear coins, period. And you just upgrade them to uncommon, skyblock style. And then again, and then again. But not as painfully ball-crushing hard, right? Like, not fucking 2.5 stacks for 1. Probably just, like, 2 to 1. Every time. Something like that. Also, it might be meta as fuck if we just actually make crafting recipes for certain things. Maybe, Cat. I'm not 100% how I feel about, like, that, but I'm not against it. I think that gets really annoying with, like, inventory space, right? Like, I hate the idea of just, like, walking out with 4 pieces of gear that are miscellaneous rarities and RNG rolls. Like, I don't necessarily know if Borderlands style loot drop works on Apollo, but maybe it would at that time. But also, I wanted to say this. I'm gonna go to Warp Forms for reference, but, like, tell me why this is a trade, fundamentally. Okay, actually, this is a terrible example. So why can't I just craft my tier 1 form soul fragments into a tier 1 soul? It's like we forget, like, obviously the answer is because this is the logical step and it's how we've done it, but, like, the missed opportunity to just use Minecraft and just be like, put those in a crafting table or your inventory, just, you know, quickly throw them up there and transfer them, and then you don't even need to go to this warp and it saves you time. Holy bag fumble, question mark? Like, I feel like... The what? Well, Yeah, I mean, that gets into the same convo of why don't we just remove the race ones and just have it be universal where you could just use it. And frankly, it would probably make more sense, but I think it's kind of at this point where it's like kind of cute collection thing to have per race. But maybe I'll change my mind in the future. I don't know. Inventory management's not a huge issue on Apollo because we don't have that many things to worry about. But in the future, maybe. Right. I think just using actual crafting recipes would be sick. Like, the fact that... I don't know. Because, like, obviously I've thought about just, like, let's remove all of these. But, frankly, I just made new textures for these. They have at least a few more years before I quality of life them away. Because they're just cool, bro. Like, it's not that annoying. Is there being 16 variations of Z-Soul annoying? A little. Cat, we don't need backpacks. We just need to make the global chest actually work. Because that is our backpack system. The global chest just needs to work, and then we can give it like 10 fucking pages. You buy a bunch of them with Zenny, some of them are donor stuff, blah, 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 right? It's a perfect donor perk. That's why I did it, but, you know, it just, the system was cooked. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's no reason you can't. I could obviously code in to make sure that it checks the owner and all that fun business. That's not, it's not impossible. I mean, any chance to make quality of life better, I'm always for. Like, I'm really hating this trade system where I have to convert things to 100 zennies all the time. That's just really, really stupid. So quality of lifing that away would be beautiful. I'm gonna go whoop Goku's ass real quick. Show him who's boss. Hold up. Dude, YouTube recommendation for 7 years ago on a Dragon Ball C server is crazy on my YouTube feed. What the hell? That was... I had to stop for a moment, bro. I got, like, nostalgia. I haven't heard that server name in literally 7 years. Thinking. That's just a visual bug. If you put them in your inventory, it will probably update. I assume they're not already in your inventory, because tier 1 is just literally it's an unused mechanic, so I removed it visually. So yours probably just haven't updated. It doesn't change anything though. They're still tier 1. It's just the text isn't there, you know. Don't know why it only updated some of them. Maybe it's an actual bug that I could fix. Let me know if it doesn't update. I'd like to patch that. Why not? Damn, 3 mil TP on the repeat? Kind of forgot quest farming was a thing. I just...
Nice. Perfect. Yeah, I think it only updates in your inventory, so that was probably what it was. Especially if it was in the fucking bank. Oof. Some solid ass TP. I should probably farm quests. No, I need the God XP, so I'll continue to farm God Goku until I level God form. Sounds like the move. Waiting for this server restart. Senki in game, bro. No way. My life is over. Already 2 hours on, actually over 2 hours. Holy dang, already 2 hours and 20 minutes. This is crazy. We're already like pushing how long these streams go. How long was the last one, actually? How long was the longest one? 235, 249, 325. Dang, we had a few like 3 hours on the dot. I think I'll shoot for 3 hours today and see how I feel. Another 40 minutes, see how I'm feeling then. If I want to keep it pushing, I'll keep it pushing. Armor, I think armor can get a nice little coat of paint in combat, but definitely not a focus. Because it's already pretty chill. You know, we buffed it. I think armor. Let me turn off screen so I can type my little password thing. Here we go. Okay, I think armor is one of those things where like it's in a pretty good spot. Like I think like Fusion, to be honest, in my opinion. There's systems that like I think we got them pretty perfect last update and like patches and all the tweaks we've made. Like they're pretty nice and all they need to do is be moved to the new system. And then they're pretty much like, okay, great. Is there like fundamental things? Sure. Are you in the stream, Chill Mouse? I'm gonna assume. I almost typed in game out of habit. If we weren't like an RPG, that would be cool. But like, you know, it's kind of counterintuitive to the RPG that we are, sadly. It'd be nice, like, you know, you could play like, oh, I don't want to be defensive, but I don't. Our armor is not even remotely about like defense right now. Hell, my armor set is actually reducing my defense and giving me melee damage. Oh, okay, I got you. Honestly, yeah, fusion is it's a fundamental game flaw. It's not a scaling flaw. So that's the best it can be right now, and will functionally it'll get better over time. It'll probably just be better in the combat update by virtue of stats being better. Because, you know, playing, like... I don't even remember. I think Fusion just needs some love in terms of how complicated its fucking scaling is. Like, yeah, Fusion scaling is going to be complicated, but I feel like there's some things we could streamline. Because we came up with stuff in GT, and it's still just GT. We just tweaked the numbers. I think there's some love we can give it to make it modern scaling for us. But other than that, yeah. Like, streamlining the internal scaling would help because I forget how it works half the time. Like, I've told people on numerous occasions that, oh, no, the stat difference, like, your stats don't matter in Fusion and da-da-da-da-da. But then they're just like, yeah, they do, lol. And I'm just like, oh, shit, my bad. Because it's fucking confusing. It's not a simple system. I'll be honest with you, Kat. I don't see that as an actual issue. I think there's a place for that, and Fusion is that. Fusion and Kaioken. Kaioken less so. But I think, if anything, if we're going to have any kind of go AFK mechanic, let it be Fusion. Let me go AFK for my passive XP. Who gives a shit? The XP numbers are already so... Like, if we wanted to remove AFK Fusion, passive farming kind of thing, with the XP numbers need to not be hyper fucking inflated, because Fusion's XP is comically hard. So, like, AFK farming it, completely reasonable. And I would argue, at least people are, like, interacting with players. The amount of people I see talk to strangers to do Fusion, it's actually beautiful. Like, it's actually the biggest co-op mechanic we have. Because I think parties are just used by people who are already friends. Like, I really don't think people recruit strangers for parties. Maybe they do. I don't know. But I think the AFK thing's okay. I usually wouldn't like it, but, like, I don't know. I've played Roblox games where you can just AFK farm everything. Like, all your form XP and stuff, and that's just cringe. Well, we shouldn't be trying to, like, be like, oh, yeah, AAA games. Because, of course, a AAA game isn't going to do some bullshit like that, right? AAA games also don't usually have you, like, farming for 200 hours. I don't know. I think it fits well enough in Apollo. Maybe we could lean off. That's crazy, chill mouse. I think we could lean off the passive XP being such a reliance. I'm gonna be honest, Kat, that's kind of one of those issues that's just unsolvable. You just subjectively don't like it, and that's fine. There's not really a solution there. Because some people absolutely love it, right? Like, on the flip side of the coin. I'm kind of in the middle on it. I don't love it, but I also don't hate it. I'm, like, in the middle, and I think some people will love it. You don't like it, but, like, it is what it is. And I think people want passive XP, and I think Fusion being a source of passive XP and Kaioken is cool. Yeah. I'm trying to think, because on one hand, what's the trade-off? Like, let's say we removed passive XP altogether, and we just gave Fusion XP from the only other source right now, which is fusing. Failure or success. That would just be... that. I don't know if that's better or worse, because right now you do... That's kind of... that's like a... I feel like that's a nihilist take. Because it's like... being like, this is bad, but we can't fix it, is like... I don't know how to put this into words. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with it, actually. Yeah. But, like, you just trade off, like, passive fusion XP for, like, just fusing, succeeding, and just getting XP. Yeah. And, like, that's just fucking worse. Like, that's... at least people are staying fused for a while. I would argue that's better. Another solution is just a new way to get fusion XP. So that both of those systems are... because people used to do that. Passive XP started being good this update. Because we made... like, basically, we balanced the two. Because there's still people that fuse and unfuse instantly. Don't get it twisted. Everyone is not AFK farming. Just to clarify, I see a good mix, and I'm happy with that, because it used to be fuse and unfuse, and everyone just does that. Now I see a mix, and I think we need a third one so that there's a little bit of AFK folks, someone who wants to, because dude, there's times where like I'll go Kaioken back when I was still farming it for the podcast. I gotta take a piss on the podcast. I'll just leave me in Kaioken. You could probably see that in like the first 10 episodes I did that, and I think that's perfectly fine. So long as I had Kaioken shards that also gave me Kaioken XP. And using Kaioken also gave me XP. Like, actual active gameplay. So I think Fusion just needs a third thing. I don't think that's, like, Fusion shards. That idea just doesn't really make sense to me. But maybe it does. Maybe we add a Vegito, a Gogeta, a Gotenks Challenger, and they drop Fusion shards. As their, like, that's their big thing. I feel like that's just, like... That's one of those things I'd like to think more about, because I don't want to just be like, here's the Kaioken solution again. I don't like doing that. Obviously, you know this, Cat. I don't like just being like, Fusion Shard. Dude, that'd be hilarious. I mean, that's one thing. We'll probably see a Fusion Dance animation, right? Because that's realistically not a hard animation to make. It's just low priority right now, because Urok's working on actual important animations. Because I don't love Fusion Shards. Like, it's obviously a solution that would work, but, like, I feel like it's a lazy-ass solution. I feel like there's something else that can be done. Because that's the solution I just offered is, like, shards, is literally just, okay, one of them is fusing and unfusing. One of them is AFKing in the fusion. And then the third one is just farming completely unrelated to fusion. Because you can't even fuse in challengers. So, like, it's a totally unrelated farm. It's just, it's basically like, yeah, no. I don't think that'd be good. And then you also get to the whole conversation of then there's an economy for fusion shards, and then someone will just max someone else's fusion, which, you know, we don't give a shit about that. Z-Souls, Kaioken, that's a thing that can happen. But there's a reason God, Primal, and Fusion, you can't do that. And, like, that's purposeful, right? Like, we want it to be a closed XP economy where you have to do it. The biggest someone can help you is fusing with you, is AFKing with you. That's it. I think the solution to, like, reduce... Because, like, I'm, again, on the fence. I could have been farming this guy the whole time. Challenges you can get, and they give you a reward based on the challenge. Make the challenge somewhat harder. That's true. That'd be a very unique... That would definitely be something we've never done before. Basically just achievements at that point is what I'd call them. But, yeah, they'd be, like, a new type of achievements. I sure as fuck wouldn't name them challenges just because challengers exist, and that's too close, but... Name doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. Challenge about fusing to give you bonus. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Like, specific things where it's like, defeat 5 quests while fused in one fusion. You know, just like little things, right? And then there can be some more specific, complicated ones. That'd be very cool. I think I'd like to explore those kind of avenues. I don't give a shit to do it in combat or even the next update, to be honest with you. Because, like, as we've just discussed this whole time, it's like, we both acknowledge that it's, like, a slightly uncomfortable mechanic right now, but it's, like, more or less, like, I'd give the mechanic, like, a solid 7.5 or a solid 8, right? Do we want to aim for a 10? Yeah, with everything. But, like, Fusion was, like, a 6 or a 5 last update, so, like, the fact that it's pushing an 8 for me now, perfectly fine. Well past a passing grade at this point. I think it's chill to leave for a few updates until we get some, well, one, an actual good, solid idea, and two, time to do that, because I'm definitely not taking time away anytime soon to work on that. I think weekly would be cool. I think so daily missions would still be a thing, and then we add weekly missions that are a lot more nuanced and more challenging in many cases. Because if I had a daily mission to fuse with someone and I only had one day to do it, I'd be very upset. Because there's a high probability that I wouldn't be able to get that done. And then I RNG roll off and can't do it for like a few days or whatever, right? But weekly missions, oh, cool. I got a mission to get some Kaioken XP this week, some Fusion XP, some God, and obviously these would be given based on what they have, so that'd be really cool. And I think weekly missions are a logical step. because we've talked about this before, but I don't ever think daily missions will become like, well, you know what? Maybe a solution for daily missions becoming useful and people caring about them is what we just talked about. Do weekly missions. Do these kind of cool missions that can give you some forms, some Kaioken, some Fusion XP, but scale them down for a daily mission, so it's very achievable, right? I probably wouldn't even put Fusion in the daily missions, because I hate the idea of, like, being on a 24-hour thing to fuse, because it's not guaranteed that you can do that. And it's not solo, is what I'm getting at there. Yeah. And these would absolutely be one and the same system. Like, functionally, they'd work the same. The daily mission, man, would just become, like... Honestly, we could probably just rebrand the system. Change it to, like, tasks, you know? That's a pretty distinctive name. Missions isn't bad either. Time missions? No. No, too close to Time Patroller. Right. Oh, that's not a bad idea, actually. I would definitely like to make daily missions better. I've been, like, trying to get them good for a long time. You know, and just buffing the vouchers and just buffing, like, giving them more Zenny doesn't solve the issue, right? Go functionally, they need to give something. Frankly, like, daily feats is not bad. I think I think I like the name daily missions, but I'm trying to figure out how we translate that to be daily and weekly. Interval missions. Just call it daily and weekly. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be one name. They're just your missions. But then mission is also very interchangeable with quests, so perchance maybe just a whole new name would be best. And classic marketing, rebranding something to a new name when you change it drastically is always a good idea, because then everyone knows that this is basically, like, most people won't even know it's the same system. They're just like, oh, what is my daily and weekly tasks? What is that about? I think that's, like, literally why people change names, right? Like, it's why the same product will just be renamed halfway through whenever they make a big change. No, not at all. It could totally just be a cool name we come up with. I just actually kind of liked the daily missions name, but thinking about it a little bit deeper, like, missions is really, like, we could literally call our main story missions if we wanted, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you. Part-time job and full-time job. Nice. I actually liked Kat's idea, where she said they're both missions that could be done in a day. It's just limiting how many you get. So you will get a couple on the daily, but you'll get a lot more on the weekly refresh. I would just love to see daily missions actually be something people, like, log in for. And I kind of want to talk about this real quick, kind of mini rant about this. I'm very, like, back and forth on, like, mechanics that kind of live service mechanics. Let me just be blunt. I feel like in general, video games where they encourage you to log in every day, not a huge fan of them. Because as someone with ADHD and just hyper obsession kind of tendencies, it's very negative for me. But mechanically speaking, I think it's a good mechanic. And obviously I know the benefit of, like, getting people to log in daily is just, it's just cool. I don't know. I think there could be a whole. I think it could be a sick rebrand. Like, I think we change, like, this whole daily mission, man. We give him a little locate. First off, there's so much damn room in this spawn that this motherfucker does not need to be standing right here. And, well, my only fear at that point is if he's not in the center of spawn, people aren't going to know about it. But I would argue people already ignore it, even though it's right there. put him in one of these buildings or just put him in this. This is probably a pretty cool idea. Just put him in here. And then it's like something people go to every day, and like people get excited for the refresh because they might get some. It's a pretty good idea. I think we should absolutely write some lore here. I mean, remember that conversation yesterday with that guy we met in the something void. I forget the name. Sorry, but you know what I mean. Writing some actual lore for some of these mechanics, I think will go a long way, and people giving a fuck. Because, like, right now, what happens? You go to the day... He doesn't even say a word. You just talk to him. And he's like, here's missions. He doesn't even say anything. He's not even telling me. Yeah, like, it's a lame mechanic. Now, this is something I'm genuinely, like, might do for combat. I don't know. I feel like this is just me conflating how much I care about it, because I've always wanted... I don't ever like knowing that one mechanic on my server is unutilized, right? Like, I hate the idea that daily missions are... Because they're literally on the side of your damn screen. The fact that people ignore them is crazy, right? In my mind. But I understand, and it's also like... It doesn't mean I should sit here and be like, let's straight up... let me spend a week of development time for the combat update working on this new mechanic, which it wouldn't take a week, but you know what I mean? Like, is it even worth devoting time right now at all? This is probably something that could happen in, like, the 1.4 update, which is after combat. It also probably make a lot more sense thematically. Yeah, it's a pretty cool idea. Alright, I put that down on my notes. Oh, I can't go there. What quest? Oh, I don't think I can beat... Let's go farm... Oh, wait, no, I want to get God XP. Yes. Oh, I got some local luck from him. Nice. Literally. I'm actually curious if Whis would even work. I think there isn't any limit. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it kicks you out, you know, if you're not literally an admin. Like, so I think anyone else would be kicked out if they got TP'd in there. Pretty positive that's what I did. I don't know, I literally did it like 3 years ago. Dude, Whis and Primal Training definitely need some recodes internally, because their code is stinky. That's true. I'm rocking Broly at the moment. I could definitely go farm some GT gear coins with the new gear coin system. Would make that pretty easy. Ugh, the yawn. Yeah, honestly, switching to a set that actually prioritizes defense would probably be for the best. Just, you know, Dex. Is that the best set for Dex? Okay. One thing about armor, for me, I'm noticing while playing. Now, mind you, I haven't farmed an armor set since the Gear Coin change. Actually, that might not be true. I think technically I bought this Namek set that I'm wearing, like the Namek Krillin set that I like. Cosmetically though. Like, I think just in general, the way like armor is such like an afterthought. Like you really get like 4 sets throughout your entire progression. Maybe I'm on my first set, so I'd be getting my second set, and I can't imagine I'm gonna get like more than another 2 sets in my time playing. And it's like, outside of someone who just wants to collect the armor sets to collect the armor sets, I feel like that's a missed opportunity with how cool I think our armor is. I think it could be more. Is what I'm getting at. I don't know how though. Like, do you just make armor a lot easier to get? No, because then getting the good armor sets, like that's not. There needs to be a reason you want more than one armor set in your life. And the problem is, if I got Android 13, I would have got destroyed Goku, and then like there's a linear progression there. Gear coins are way too hard to grind for me to care about getting 13 though. I totally just waited for Broly. Yeah, I think that was we obviously knew about that. We knew that we were giving them this set way too early, but like the solution was like just not feasible. Frankly, we've talked about reorganizing the movie packs. Just putting them in linear order and keeping them still grouped in 3s via movie pack method, like the Gear Coin. There you go. The first 3 drop movie pack 1. The next 3, you get it. Let me go look at. I'm actually curious. If I go to Armor Market, let's just look at. Oh, nice. Because I think the solution to the Broly issue, because Broly would be like in movie pack 2, and Turtle, Slug, and I don't know, one of the weaker Android 13, something like that, would all be movie pack 1, and then movie pack 2 would be like Bojack, Cell, and one of the other Cell. Yeah. Honestly, that probably matters. Honestly, Cat, I'll probably care a lot more to get other armor sets when specific sets do really cool things. Good thing I typed the wrong password there. Also on the wrong server, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. I could probably do that in combat. I don't really mind. We're not going to do MP4 for a while anyway. And I think MP4 probably won't be... I think all of them would be post-current content. Like, no. I'd rather just sort it. It does get a little annoying though, because the reference of movie pack 3... I'm thinking. I think doing them linear order works fine enough. Like, because it was, like, just to be clear, the armor progression was working. Broly is, like, the biggest issue. Like, Broly is the issue with armor movie pack drops. My biggest gripe with sorting them is, like, I hate from a release standpoint. Or in movie pack 1, so, like, they make sense. Oh, this was movie pack 1, this was movie pack 2, this was movie pack 3. And that's just gonna completely go out the fucking window with this change. And I hate that on a fundamental level. But, like, this is one of those, like, mechanics over visual, right? I'll be honest, I don't even think doing both is necessary. Well, let me think this through. So this would be 3. Harudegarn would be 3. Both of these are actually, so movie pack 1 is probably cooler. So Turtle, Slug, probably cooler. And then 2 is 13, Bojack, Broly. And then 3 is Janemba, Tapion, or Harudegarn. Who the hell did I miss? Bojack, 13, one of them, whatever. Whoever's the strongest would probably end up... Basically what I'm saying is, like, I don't necessarily give a shit. Like, I think genuinely they're more or less close enough that if you jump ahead and get a set, it's fine, because we're just going to scale the set with that in mind. Broly is just, like, straight up a Saiyan Saga... Like, you can farm Saiyan Saga quests. Like, Slug is, like, literally early-ass Namek. So, like, you could farm that and just get Broly, and that's just insane. Because you're actually, like, especially... It's also made even worse by the fact that we specifically scaled all these armor sets to be good because they're the newest armor set. Like, we knew these were going to be, like, good. And that was, like, by design. I'm also thinking about MP4, which let me PM you this. So, I think this is another one of those cases where, like, we just need a different... So, how the gear coins drop, worry about that later for a moment. I actually think this is... In terms of linear, I think the better idea would just be, like, obviously split these into sagas. Like, this menu should not show fucking 9 sagas right here, right? Like, that's stinky. What it should do... You know, like, Xenoverse is actually a really good example of this. Where, like, it just shows you categories. Where it's like, Saga 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you just put, like, a level rating next to them. And then, yeah, you can organize them by, like, whatever, right? Like, you don't call it Saga 1. You just call it fucking cooler. You know? And then it's just level rated, level range of minimum to max. Yeah. That's a good idea, just in general. The way this menu works is disgusting. That's not... Yeah. Literally. Because, like, damn near there's not really, like, I think the shortest storyline is, like, 9 quests. Yeah, so, like, all of them, 8, all of them deserve their own page, without a doubt. There's no reason they should be merged. They shouldn't even be organized in movie packs. Like, movie pack is purely just a release thing, you know? It shouldn't be like, hey, this is Saga 7, 8, 9, guys. No, it should just be, this is Slug, Turles, and Broly Saga. And they're going to scale whatever they scale. Because also calling them 7, 8, 9 gave an implication that they would be stronger than the last 3. It also didn't help that movie pack 2... where they were all, like, without, like, pretty much except Saga 4, which is metal cooler, they were all, like, you know, stronger than the ones before them. And movie pack 3, you know, probably should have happened earlier, if I'm going to be honest. We probably should have led with Slug and Turtles, but, you know, can't change that. Also, movie pack 3, probably should have happened really fast. It probably should have just been a quest drop right after GT, if I'm going to be honest with you. Like, if I'm being blunt here, what ideally should have happened is MP3 update should have not happened, and MP3 should have just been a quest release like MP1 and 2 were. But I wanted to go bigger and better than GT, of course, so I couldn't do that. But realistically, in mid-2023, you know, like 10 months after GT, like May of 2023, we should have just dropped MP3 quests, and then the MP3 update, as it was with all the cool shit, should have just became the future update, and that would have probably solved the issue of people waiting too long. Because then you waited 1 year, you got some new content, you wait another year and a half, you get this huge update bringing the future saga, more content, a PQ, so just a shit ton of quests, like 20 to 30, whatever, like a lot of quests. But, you know, racial states are a huge issue there, because MP3, there's reasons for everything, but, you know, going back and trying to min-max how the release could have gone is cute in theory, but, like, obviously things happen for a reason, and we had reasons. But it's always fun to talk about what could have been done better, because, you know, moving forward, that's what we're trying to do. I'm gonna PM you something real quick, Kat. Yeah. No worries. It's just like, you know, movies have one set per saga where PQs are like inverse of that. I agree. It's in combat update is what I meant. Well, the other option, Cat, was the Cell Saga PQ was going to take all the way until future update. Because, you know, that was the trend up until now. So it being moved into combat was already like a move forward. I don't think I'll go much further than that right now. Because it's frankly, like, it's literally not done. Like, Rook is not done with the armor textures. And then Munchkin's also not done. So, like, there's just, you know. And I don't want to have Rook take time away from animations to work on armor sets. That seems silly at the moment. So they're like very background. If it was ready, I'd just drop it, right? I think the issue in general, Kat, with like any of the ideas we're talking about with like drip feeding content is just like we talk about it, we're like, oh, let's drip feed content, but like we just straight up, and obviously you know this, but like it's this kind of like for everyone listening, we don't have the procedures set up for that to work. Because, like, what do we drip feed? Cell Saga PQ, and then, like, what? Because, like, let me actually ask you seriously. Is anyone going to give a shit when we add the Cell Saga PQ? And it's just, like, let's say standalone. It comes in a patch, and that's the main, like, that's the, hey, guys, here's a little bit of content to hold you off. Maybe I'm underselling Cell Saga PQ, but it's some new armor and some quests, right? Like, it's nothing... The content people would really go crazy for, without a doubt, is the new Super Story. That is number one. Number two is probably a cool movie, maybe some Daima right now. And then number three is PQ, right? Because it's stuff like, it's totally just, like, it's a riff off the normal story that they already have. Yeah. Which, unfortunately, we're not, like, basically drip feeding content is, like, post-combat, which is kind of unfortunate. But, like, that's true. The something over nothing, which is what I messaged you in general. Because, like, everything on that list that I sent you, I could make the argument that nobody's going to give a shit. Right? Like, nobody's going to give a shit when they get any of those features individually. It's just kind of like... I explained this to Rook. Okay. So, my argument... Let me devil's advocate myself. My argument here, Kat, is that people aren't going to care when Cell Saga PQ comes out. Yes? Okay. So if those people don't care, they either don't know about it being added, or they don't care and they're not going to play. Either way, they're not playing. Those people will hopefully play next update, right? That's the idea. Like, the actual next, like, combat update comes out, they'll all log in, and they'll see the Cell Saga PQ, and that will be a cherry on the top for them, or it will just be a slight thing that's like, oh, that's neat, nice. So either way, they'll see it and appreciate it at some point if it was significant or cool enough, right? Which is obviously the intention with anything we do. So my point is, even if they don't care right now, they'll eventually care. Because they'll eventually interact with it, right? Like, even if nobody logged in to play the luck patch, like the 1.2.8 patch, maybe they log in a month from now. Maybe they log in for the next update. The point is, they're still going to experience it. Just because they don't experience it in the time the patch comes out to the time the next update comes out, it doesn't matter. It's literally... Okay, there's people who haven't played since our 1.0 update. So they got 1.1, 1.2, U6, GT, MP3. They got 5 updates slapped in their face. My point being, none of those features devalued for them. Hell, half of those features probably got better in every update. You know what I mean? Like Fusion. If you played when that shit first came out versus now, it's way better. And I kind of do this to myself where I have a cool idea. I'm like, oh, let me do skyboxes. But then I'm like... oh, well, nobody's going to care, so let me just save it for the update so people care more. Or it's done, release it, and it's just a little drip feed. At least they got something. And maybe 2% of the player base give a fuck. Okay, that's 2% of the player base being fed. I think there's something to be said that we have an obligation to feed the players more often than we do to hype up the next big thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking completely to myself. I'm aware you probably don't... You know, this wasn't ever your intention, but this is to me, because you've seen me do this. I talk myself out of doing things because I'm like, well, let's just save for the update. But it's like, look at that last patch we did. That had a surprising impact on the player count. Like, yeah, that was a pretty big bounce up. Exactly. Like, it's basically an update feature for them. Because chances are, if someone didn't even keep up with the patch, they probably aren't even going to read what was added in these big updates. They might just check in occasionally. And then, so basically my point is, they won't know if Cell Saga PQ was or wasn't added in a patch. To them, it's new, because it wasn't there last time they played. I think trying to think that every player is, like, actively sitting here waiting for every patch and every event we do is silly, because, like, realistically... we probably don't have that many super fans that are sitting here watching our every single move, right? Like, I think people like Pop Smoke are a rare oddity, which is why I love the guy. So, you know, I think, like, holding off on anything, like, anything at all that we have, like, controller support, that's totally just going to be part of that patch. I forgot to include that, but, like, a theoretical patch would just include that. And I just read what you said in Discord, Cat. Like, giving them something, anything to actually no. An example, and I realize that half of the time I'm just confirming things that people already thought, but you know, I'm a stubborn person. So to me, I have to come to the realization myself. I gotta fuck around and find out, basically. But my point is, at some point I realized that, like, with MP3, let's say I played in July or August of 2022 when GT came out. We did a pretty amazing amount of events after GT came out. Like, that wasn't the issue. But if you didn't play since the patch of GT, let's just say you played early 2023 and you didn't play for all of 2023. You came in early 2024. There was no update. What changed in a year? Even though I worked my ass off in that year and the game was unrecognizable internally, it doesn't matter. The players, they log in, they saw no difference. There might have been an event going on, but to them, they just logged in and it's the same damn game they played a year ago. And, okay, for this example, you have to hold some logic back because obviously the answer is check the Discord. The answer is read the news that's in your face when you log in about videos we posted and news and whatever. Okay, let's just ignore all of that. Let's imagine someone just doesn't give a shit. They don't read anything. They just play the game. This is a lot of people. I play plenty of games in this exact mindset where the realization came to me when I logged into a game and said to myself, dang, do they even update this anymore? And then I was like in a call and I said it out loud and I'm just like, damn, I really just like, it's exactly how someone would feel about Apollo. Because you go 2 years with no update and it's like, dude, nothing changed. But then, yeah, the update. Oh, yeah, 2 years of... But then you start having the conversation of, was that worth 2 years? Does every individual player agree that was 2 years? Absolutely not. We're never gonna, like, get every player to, like, agree with every system. There's people who logged in, skipped through character creation, didn't give a shit. There goes 6 months of development time. Something like that, right? There's some people who logged in and didn't like quick selection. There goes 2 months of development time. Stuff like that. It's very simple. Not everyone's going to like every feature. No update ever adds a feature that every single person likes every single feature added in a patch or an update of a game. Never happens. So I think moving a lot more swiftly and just being more consistent, because why the fuck should skyboxes wait until combat? They have nothing to do with combat. They're just a cute thing I did. Why not just get that out and get people like, hey guys, look at these cute skies. Like, imagine if we held the Lux system. In MP3 Cat, that patch 1.2.7 or 8 would have never happened. We would have just held all of that for MP3 or combat update in this case. I think that patch was the first patch where I'm finally just like, man, fuck it. There's no point holding stuff. All it's doing, we're holding the bag from ourselves, not the players. The players aren't the ones losing. We're the ones losing because players are not getting anything and they're getting bored. Like, straight up, you get 0 changes in a game in 2 years, you're going to start feeling like the devs don't even give a shit about you. And then you start getting into the meta conversation of, like, when you know, we had all the delays with MP3. You start getting, like, the negatives start stacking pretty quick when you're like, oh, they made us wait 2 years for this update, and it got delayed 3 times, and da-da-da-da-da, and there was no patches in between, and yeah, it starts really painting a bad light. I think I want to avoid that in the future, which is why I've been moving differently. That's why there was a 1.2.8 patch 6 months after the update. They just added a bunch of shit. Like, the context menu was totally just going to be in the combat update. The Lux system, well, I mean, it was intended for the patch because I'd already changed my mind at that point. But, like, it would have gone into combat if I hadn't had this shift. And I think doing another patch would be good. You know, giving the players, you know, you guys, anyone listening to this, a little bit to chew on, you know, a little bit more to experience, so we don't just leave you guys hanging. Because, you know, it's very easy for me to get disconnected from, like, players, because, you know, even though I read all the chats, like, every single day I read the chats, probably a dozen times a day I'm checking chats, so I'm very, like, I read what people are saying, but actually being in sync with the players when I don't play the game actively. Playing the podcast helps me a lot for this very reason. But being in sync with the players when I actually actively play, or when I don't actually actively play, excuse me, the inverse of what I said, it's challenging, right? Because it's very easy for me to just, oh, you know, a year without an update. But if I played a game like that, I would start thinking, you know, I'm like, damn, do these devs even give a shit? Like, they haven't, this issue, this bug, this, that, and especially in MP3, we had a lot of bugs. We've made people wait for the MP3. There should have been a patch in 2024, 2023 to fix things during MP3's dev. That's something I regret, but you know, you can't change the past. We could just move forward and be better. So, but at least I'm acknowledging it. I don't know. Oh, that was a big rant, but that's been something internally. I've had this conversation too many fucking times. Kat has probably heard me say this 10 times at this point. It's something I've thought about extensively. It's weighed on me. Because I feel like, you know, for me, MP3 was like everything I ever wanted in the game. The problem is designing a game, you know, that's how I like to consider this, because the amount of time, like, this is a full-time thing for me. I consider this game design, right? Even though it's Minecraft, whatever. I develop, all that, blah, blah, blah. Imagine, like, obviously game designers, like, probably 90% of the time are, like, they're coming up with the ideas. They're not catering to a player base, but we're not, like, making a AAA title here that's supposed to wow people and shock people. This is like a live service game where people already have expectations. You know, they already have an expectation of what they want from it. They know that, hey, we want some more content. Hey, we want some more forums. Hey, we want this. And, you know, we've spent a long time, like, laughing at people being like, oh, all people ask for is forums and content. But it's like, that's what the player base wants. And it's up to us to, like, listen to them. That doesn't mean that we should, like, drop everything we're doing and, like, work on that. That just means that, like, that needs to be taken seriously. And we can't just, like, ignore that. Because when we ignore that and just, like, here's 30 quests, thanks for waiting 2 years, it's like, you know, I think that's reflected. I think the player base reacts to that, and whether they say it or not, it ends up showing in numbers, right? Good talk. Hope that gave someone something to chew on. How close am I to leveling God? Please. 53%. I'll take it. This guy is so damn strong. At least he gives way more TP than Blue. Definitely happy for that. There you go. Check PMs if you're not already, Cat. I think that's a banger idea. I think that, like, there's your post update content, because those, without a doubt, could be, like, so many reasons that's a good idea. It is hot as shit in my house. Is the AC on? Oh my gosh, it thinks I'm away right now. Can you stop doing that? Oh my god, it's 75 in my house. Which is not terrible. It's like 2 degrees above what I want it, but like when I'm in here yapping my ass off and I'm getting warm, yeah, not good. Almost like wearing pants because I'm comfortable in the house, but dude, it's so damn hot out where I am. Humidity and 95 degrees. It's hell. I was gonna go to an amusement park tomorrow, but fuck that. We're just gonna go swimming instead. I think I'll start doing the podcast earlier. Because I just watched the player count in the time I've been playing go from 22 to 8. Which is crazy, first off. But, like, I think I should do them a little bit earlier. Because I feel like people start getting busy later in the day on the weekend, you know? Like, I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I feel like people are probably more free in the afternoon on a Saturday. Like, earlier afternoon. Like, maybe I'll start at 1 p.m. Maybe just move it back 1 hour, see how that goes. I don't even know if I'll be streaming 2 weeks from now. July 5th, we'll see. Probably be busy that weekend. You know, July 4th and all. We'll see, we'll see. Thank you, Chill Mouse, thank you. Just sitting here lurking, I love it. I appreciate you hanging out in the podcast while you're playing. Greatly appreciated. This is the longest podcast I've done in a minute. Actually, I don't think that's necessarily true. I just feel like the last few have barely even got close to 3 hours. Let me check. Let me look. Last podcast was 2 hours 35, then 2 hours, then 250. Yeah, so we're already scratched. We're already like 310. Oh yeah. If I'm already past, like, the last podcast that was 3 hours was number 8 over a month ago. And then, oh my gosh, yeah. No, we're good, we're good. This podcast is cooking. This is probably gonna be the longest podcast, which I'm totally fine with. Because I am honestly chilling. I am not even bored yet. I'm enjoying this little grind and little yap. Cat, I'll be honest, I think we already did that in the only way I'm ever going to be convinced of. I don't mind talking about that publicly, by the way. I'll quickly TLDR it, and you can let me know if I misrepresent it. Please, Cat. Cat was just saying that maybe we change our version numbers to be like the first number, you know, the 1, as we're 1.2.8 right now. 1 is usually major version number, so a lot of games like Final Fantasy 14 actually update that version number. So like version 2 is basically just an expansion. Version 3, okay, another expansion and game overhaul. So like that. And then the second number is basically like big updates, like GT, MP3, combat for us. The thing is, we kind of already do that, Cat. I just don't think we'd ever do a 2.0. Like, I don't think, if combat isn't 2.0, nothing is 2.0. I was actually thinking about this yesterday. Random, I know, but like, because combat, it really is a 2.0. Fundamentally, it's a fucking 2.0. Like, there's a couple things that hold it back from being a 2.0, but like, I just don't think we do 2.0 version number. Like, I think there's just a lot of things just don't, you know, the 1 is just flavor, you know? Technically, we could totally just drop the 1 and just be version 2.8, and then combat's version 3. Well, hasn't it changed from that, though? Because they're literally on, like, version 7. And it's been expansion since then. Wait, is it? Are you for real? I swear to God, I thought I was playing version, like, 6. Yeah, then what you suggested isn't a change at all, Cat. You literally just suggested what we're doing. Maybe I'm missing something. Yeah, the third number being patches is, that's perfectly, that's, so let me clarify something, because I don't think you were here for the conversations me and Rook had. Basically, I am actually using the third number for real now, because if you recall, Cat. Wait, what are you talking about the first number then? Because that's what I thought. Yeah, like 1.0 was their original release, then 2.0 was when they fixed it and made it actually fun, and then 3 was like ARR. Well, what I'm telling you, Kaz, we already did what you literally just suggested. We're just probably never going to see a 2.0 Apollo, because I just, not a fan. But, like, combat was going to be 1.2.8, and then I just said, fuck it. No. Remember, we had this conversation, Kat. We already changed. This I know you were a part of. 1.3 became combat, and 1.4 became dungeons. So... Oh, 7 point... Okay, 7.25 instead of 7.2.5. Yeah, that doesn't fucking matter at all, because they literally just treat it like a third number anyway. But, yeah. Yeah, we're pretty much doing that, because I realized that, like, calling combat 1.2.8 versus calling it 1.3, it's just like, why not, right? Why not call it 1.3 and just, like, get free, you know, free recognition out of it, because people are going to look at that way more favorable than 1.2.8. Yeah, so I pretty much had the same thought. It's a good idea, though, nonetheless. But that took me, like, Rook was trying to get me on that for a while. He was, like, really adamant about, like, combat should be 1.3. It took me a while to come across to that. But I definitely don't think I'm going to do, like, 2.0. Because, well... For me... So, switching the version number the way we just chatted about... That was perfectly fine, because it's illogical. Like, it was kind of just an oopsie for a few versions. We technically were doing... 1.1 was a big update, and then 1.2 was a big update, and then U6 was small. And then for some reason GT was 1.2.5, and that was just weird. GT should have been 1.3. MP3 should have been 1.4. Combat would have been 1.5. So now we're basically just back to an update will be a number, and a patch will be the third number. The problem is I just don't think the first number should ever change, because that... I mean, version numbers are completely relative, so even if we did do a 2.0, I don't know. We could just say fuck it, and combat could be 2.0. I'll think about it. You know, I'm adverse to it, but I'm trying to open my mind more in general to changes. Because one thing that just came to mind, fucking Apple, of all companies. Well, okay, maybe they're actually a bad example for this, because they actually love doing things that are counterintuitive and making everyone get on board with them. But for the moment, let's just chat about what they recently did. The next iOS versions are all 26. They're doing car year numbering. So this year, iOS 26 is coming out. Apple TV OS 26. Everything 26 for their entire product SKU. Consistency is always good. But point is, they switched from, like, I think it was like, dude, I think I'm on iOS 18 on my phone. Point is, basically, the version number was way off. Because iOS did not start in 2001, right? Like, iOS started in, like, 2008 or something. So they're just skipping ahead a few years to catch up. And they also did it when they skipped the iPhone 9 and just went to X, which was technically 10. Because then they did 11 and all that. But it's like, the only reason... So, my point here is, if Apple, if the biggest fucking company in America, you know, give or take, can just, like, rebrand their entire product SKU and it ends up sticking and they still do perfectly fine, why the fuck can we not change our version number that nobody even pays attention to? Like... It's actually, I kind of never put it in those exact words for myself, but, like, if a $1 trillion company can manage to do it, now, obviously they have the money to just, like, market it and people will know, but, like, yeah. Yeah, and for what you said there, Kat, we don't even support anything except the latest version because we're not, like, a product, like, a software or anything. So, like, it actually doesn't matter. It's arbitrary. Yeah. I'm actually not against... Well, okay. I have to emphasize, if we made this change... Let me type this in the chat. Might have just talked me into it. I wanna see some of the other team members' opinion before, but I'm pretty sure Rook's gonna be all fucking for it. So, because he's probably gonna be like shitting his pants because he was the one who had to convince me to do 1.3 in the first place. And I actually think me and him have literally joked about calling Combat 2.0. But like genuinely, explain to me why we can't call it a 2.0. What is stopping us? Because okay. A 2.0, I think the biggest thing is... I think the biggest aversion I have to it is immediately it sets the tone that this is like entire game remade version 2, right? Like this is the second game, that kind of thing. But it's like, no, because the next update will literally be 3. Like we're not, it's not version 2, everything changed. It's just that's the new update scheme. But effectively, I think combat is the perfect time to do this. Because if it's not combat, it's no update. No update will be worthy. Because we're not ever going to do an update as big a scale. Which I know sounds crazy to say. But like, genuinely, we're changing combat this once. And it's just going to be tweaked and refined moving forward. Like, we're not going to have another update that's doing combat. Like, combat is doing so fucking much. Yeah. I probably won't. I don't know. I'll cook some shit up there. Because I genuinely kind of do want to act like this is a 2.0. I won't go full with that, but I genuinely think saying that would get people very interested, more so than they already are. Because I think there's an argument to be made that it's 2.0 enough for this to work. Because, like, genuinely, tell me what stops it from actually being a version 2. It's not outright different, but, like, there's plenty of times where something gets a 2.0 and it's not outright different. It's just a glorified update. That's a thing. There's plenty of times where the second version does, in fact, change everything, and it's basically a different thing. But, like, CS2 is literally just CSGO polished. Just the update they should have done 7 years ago. That's what I'm saying, Kat. That's exactly, like, my point here. And my argument of calling it a 2.0 and, like, advertising it as such, like, this is our 2.0 update, is just straight up, the combat changing is already enough to call it 2.0 because it's the entire gameplay loop. I think one of the biggest things missing is a reset, but we're just not doing resets, so, like, that's not really negotiable. And, Kat, I would argue, actually, I don't need to argue. I know for a fact that not that many people even, well, let me not say that. I'll share this privately. 1 second. Let me finish killing this guy. I think optics matter a lot. Because the fact I was literally hyping an update called 1.2.7 update, and it was our biggest ever fucking update. Couldn't even do 1.3. Like, that was such a prideful ego thing for me. It was so stupid, bro. Because I guarantee you, just calling it 1.3 would have probably garnered us a few hundred more people. Because here's the thing. Nobody cares about version number changes, yes. But if they do, What sounds better? Hey guys, we got update 1.2.7 coming out. Hey guys, we got update 1.3 coming out. Especially in the Minecraft context where 1.3 and 1.4 is a big thing. That's the next 1.4 is the next update. You know, that kind of thing. Or 1.23, whatever the fuck they're on. So I think optics matter a lot. But let me share this with you. Give me a second. Literally. I mean, that was originally what I just said, Chill Mouse. I was like, let's call this 3. Like, you know, let's just drop the 1 and call it 3.0. But then it's like, we might as well not miss the opportunity to call an update 2.0, right? Or, here's a counter to all of this. We change the version number structure. We call combat 2.0. But then 2.1, we do like a hybrid. Where we call combat 2.0 because it's genuinely worthy of the title. And then we call the future saga 2.1. But then you get back to the weirdness where you have version fucking 2.0.1 for a patch, and that's just stupid. So probably not. I think genuinely, as long as our big updates, like, I don't know. Well, I definitely need to think this through a little bit more. But like, I think I'm okay with being like, okay, guys, we got version 6 coming out. Because that's basically just getting to what Roblox games do in a more professional sense, where they're just like, hey, guys, we got update 17 coming out. And, like, the thing is, people get excited for that. Because it doesn't matter. As long as the name is catchy. Or it's like, oh, update 8. Guys, I'm excited for update 8. As long as that's the sentence. But, like, nobody's going to say I'm excited for version 1.2.7, because that's just a lot of fucking words. That's a lot of things, you know? The decimals ruin it, frankly. The farthest you should go is, like, 6.1, 6.11, 6.12, you know, that sort of thing. So I think, yeah. Yeah, genuinely, like, I'm just, like, it's pretty much just some fucking arbitrary thing in my head. Like, it's a meaningless, you know. And frankly, if it will give players a slight more nudge to give a fuck when we have literally a huge update coming, I think that matters infinitely more. I'm doing some math. Yeah, literally. Hold on, I'm doing math on something real quick, Cat, because this might be a very damning number I'm about to pull up here. That's an interesting stat, Cat. That's crazy to pull those numbers. Sorry for going AFK there for anyone on the podcast. Had an interesting realization. I'll pull the same numbers, Kat, because I'm genuinely curious. I'll pull the same numbers from previous updates and we can see. Because maybe it's not as bad as that sounds, but genuinely it's just a new player issue. That's always what I'm going to come back to, but, you know. Because it is unrealistic to just expect that, like, every single player comes back, right? Like, that's just not going to happen. Because there's people who log... There's, like, that data is skewed to all hell because there's people who logged in one time and will literally never touch the game again. But I completely agree on that, Kat. The expectation was for old players was basically replay the game or this update did nothing for you. Because actually, like, what did it? Like, you log in, get racial state, and leave. And especially considering racial state was like a secret the entire dev, that didn't help. Because if you didn't hear about it when the update launched, you probably haven't heard about it since. Which ends up meaning, you know, yeah. Yep. Total agree. Something to think about. We can fix this up moving forward. I probably am gonna end the podcast pretty soon here since it's getting pretty chill in here, and I have some stuff I want to yap about off stream now. But let me see, how close am I? Yeah, that's why I'm not too worried, Kat. Like it's scary, but I'm also not too worried because like we have the solution. The solution. MP3 was just an unfortunate. Well, not unfortunate. MP3 was kind of just a needed foundational step to move forward, and that's how I'm gonna refer to it moving forward, because the combat update would not be moving so fast if MP3 did not happen. If we just took MP3 out and I tried to make combat update 2 years back, you're not getting combat update the way it's going right now. So, you know, be as negative as I want, but at the end of the day, MP3 is the reason combat happened, and will be as good as it is. So, you know, positives. Bye, Chill Mouse. I'm going to be ending the podcast soon. Thanks for dropping in, man. I really appreciate you hanging out in the podcast. Just listening in the background and whatnot. Hope you have a good day, sir. Okay, I'm actually just gonna go ahead and level up my god form, and then I'll end the podcast. That's my goal. Key drawing really sucks right now. I realize my key drawing has been going up as I've been leveling god form. Like, I kind of just forgot that's a thing, and it's probably going up significantly. Like, let me just look. Oh yeah, I mean, I literally just got an extra 11 drain, which 11 drain, I know it's not big, but like, you know, it's gonna go up right when I level to another like 25% of whatever it's already gained. So yikes. Well, I'm also about to have Goku tier 3 or something. I don't know. He's leveling up. my luck. No fucking way. 1% health and I ran out of stamina. Bro, level up my damn form. 85. Really? Maybe I don't do this on the podcast. How long have I been streaming? 3 hours. Wait. What was the longest one before this? No. I'm not going to fumble that bag. 3 hours, 25? Wait, really? That means I'm already... Oh, wow. This is already the longest one. Because the entire season 1... Season 1 was pretty light. Like, damn near every episode was 2 hours. 3 hours, 3:45. Yeah, okay. So... stream for another 10 minutes, and I've set the record for the longest podcast. Is that a flex? I don't know. That's a debatable flex, I would say. Like, I don't quite know. I mean, the fact that I managed to, you know, yap for nearly 4 hours, pretty impressive. I'm definitely glad I only do this every 2 weeks, right? Like, I don't think I could do this every week. And if I did, you'd start getting, like, barely 2.5 hour podcasts. Because I think I'd rather... I've thought about weekly podcasts, but man, it always just comes down to I really don't want to, like, have to do this every single Saturday. Have to dedicate 3 hours every single Saturday. I don't know, though. Maybe podcast season 3 blows up and I just say fuck it and do weekly episodes to grind it out. Speed run it, you know? I mean, if I less than half a year for the whole podcast would be pretty crazy, to be honest. Because I'm on episode 12 and I'm at the end of BOG, so it's safe to assume before episode 20. Especially if I start doing off-camera grinding, it's safe to assume before episode 20 I'll be finishing. So, although these episodes have been longer than a lot of season 1, so I'm actually going to check. I'm very curious how collectively long season 1 was, like time-wise. Because it was 24 episodes, so obviously it was shorter, or longer, excuse me, but like actual time-wise. Let me check. I have this data somewhere. I say somewhere. I know exactly where it is. I have it open. Go. Okay. Season 1 was 61 hours of runtime. Okay. Coding stream. Yeah. That's pretty much what me and Rook have chatted about. Because the coding stream would be him animating, and then I don't know if I'd be coding. I think it would be more work to start, and then we pivot and we see how we like it, and then maybe I get comfortable and do coding, right? But yeah, pretty much that. It would basically just be, because obviously I wouldn't do a podcast on Saturday and then the next day do a coding stream. That would be weird. It would probably end up being the next week, to be honest. But it also wouldn't be scheduled. Me and Rook have already decided that. Like, we would not be like, it's every other Saturday. It would just be like, let's try to do it in the window between 2 podcasts, somewhere in the middle. So, like, you'd have, maybe, it'd be the weekend in between. Maybe it'd be a Wednesday. I don't know. Genuinely, it's just, if he's busy one day, okay. And if we both have a day where we're down to be publicly working, we'll do it. Anyway, 61 hours for season 1. The first 11 episodes so far are 29 hours. Which, just for context, the first 11 episodes of last podcast were 25. Wait, so actually? 29, only 4 more hours in 11. Okay. I think I'm going to beat the game with like 50-something hours on stream. Which is perfectly chill for me. The funny part about that is I've done like maybe a couple dozen challengers off camera. So like, actually, the grind is a lot shorter, but I'm completely happy with it. Like, there's some parts that felt a little easy, but ever since I hit super, I've not had a single thought in that tone. Because frankly, no. Super is not easy. Z is just a little too easy. At certain parts. Like, honestly, just up to Cell probably needs a little, you know, difficulty. But it's really hard to say, though, because, like, I'm the guy who's doing every single quest and knows every single method. That's always an issue in talking about this. Because, like, a lot of people just don't even do movie packs, bro. Which is crazy, and they're just doing it wrong. But, like, you know, we have to keep that in mind with balance. Because we can't just, you know, it's very challenging. I think there's a balance. Maybe a little bit harder on Z early. And, like, that's as far. Because, again, the scaling is the best it's been. So we just need, like, a few percentile of change. Not even double digits of percent. We're, like, down to the point where we're just, like, playing ping pong. And the walls are getting closer. It's like, it was ping pong across the room. Now it's just, like, bing, 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 bing. Like, fucking percentile changes, dude. This is easily the longest of... Oh my gosh, yeah, this is the longest season 1 by a long shot, and season 2. Season 1, we had 3 hours 45, which I'm literally about to pass in 2 minutes. So, I'm going to end it at 3:46. Set the record in asterisks, you know? Just like 1 minute longer. And then YouTube, like, shaves off 30 seconds for some fucking reason. I'd be very mad. What are you doing behind me, Finn? What's up? What's up? Lay down, huh? I'll be down in a few minutes, buddy. Okay, Goku, dang, I probably have a lot of luck now. I leveled up my global and local luck in just the last, like, 2 challenger runs. This is epic. The only healing item I use while farming challengers. Well, that's not true. I use a few just to subsidize it, to speed it up, especially on enemies that are this atrocious. So this guy's, like, 40 mil health. That's so crazy. I just use, like, energy pills, so I don't have to fucking, you know... Spirit. Please, 4 XP. Oh, one more run. Oh, this is a cool arena for this. Wait, what's my luck at? Oh my gosh, 27. Whoo, baby. I've already got 12% luck out of this guy. I love the luck system. I think it's literally one of our best additions. Like, if this was an MP3, it'd be top 3 editions or top 5 editions at least. Racial states, character creation, quick selection. This is in there. I don't really know what else I'd even put in there. I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting that I love. The health bar, I don't know. That one was so... Dude, the health bar is like the first thing I worked on in MP3. So, like, genuinely, it always slips my mind. Like, that could have been a fucking patch. Like, yeah, there were some bugs I was fixing for a long time, but, like, you know, I could have locked in for a week, fixed them, and pushed it out. That was my issue. I've gotten a lot better at finishing things that start. Anyway, leveled up God form. That drain... Oh, I literally dropped out of the form because of the drain instantly. It wasn't that much more, but, like, you know. Okay, I think that's a great note to end the podcast on. And I have officially set the record for the longest podcast. Let me confirm that. I just wanna make sure. Come on, YouTube. Refresh. Okay. 4 hours. Why does it say 3:46 out of 4:46? YouTube's just like, you got another hour, buddy. Keep it pushing. The timeline of my thing just shows a whole another hour. But it, like, that's weird. Anyway, this is the longest podcast. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate you guys all coming out, talking. I know most people already left, but for anyone watching the VOD, if you made it to the end of the podcast, I don't know, comment something. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy almost 4 hours of me just yapping. endlessly. I haven't even sat up. I've been sitting in this chair for 4 hours, so it's basically a normal day, but, you know, yeah. Have a good day, y'all.